everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Barry and Larry. Today we're going to discuss Corky Pope, a wedding at Ursa Rio, and of course, gravy. Now fill up those tea mugs with gravy and dump them all over your drying biscuits, because it's gravy time with Barry and Larry. We're still mourning the loss of Terry and Gary, obviously. Let's see if we're live. All right, am I public? I'm going to check my chat. All right, hang on a second. Hi, everybody. YouTube chat is on. Well, we can take about chat. I don't care. God will figure that out. All right, hi, everybody. What's going down? What's going on? Welcome to Tea Time with Barry and Larry. Of course, Gary and Terry died. Wink, wink. I'm pretty sure they faked their own death to avoid taxes, but who knows? It's good to see you all. All right, we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. We had Van Allen Bear and Harmony Bear got married at Ursa Rio. And you have to understand how unbelievable this was for me. I was so happy to see all this come together because, Van Allen Bear writes to me from Alaska. You know, he just had a weird encounter with a moose. He was a little disoriented, wonderful writer. And, he's trying to start a Alaskan-only clothing line. Comes from a really interesting background, crushing, but just not happy with the way the world's going. Harmony Bear writes to me from Ontario, Canada, with wonderful handwriting and just really disillusioned with how Canada was going. Really good person. All right, so anyway, they start talking, they meet. Meanwhile, we're crowdfunding for Bertaria, and they just got married this last weekend at Ursa Rio. Like right next to the river. A bunch of bears showed up. It was incredible. You know, they set up this awesome tent and everybody brought food. You know, Amy made some food. It was insane. So that put me in a wonderful mood today. Congrats, Van Allen and Harmony. Yeah. Unbelievable. So, that's always what I had in mind with Bertaria. And the fact that happened is amazing. Aren't you supposed to not have live chat? It doesn't matter, Base Gardener. Doesn't matter. If anybody wants to super chat me, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy and P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. But just understand, I'm doing fine. So don't think you have to go crazy and give me tons of money, because things have really evened out. Things are going quite well. But not for Coddington, and he gets half, so whatever. He's still just a mess. Just bottom feeding out there in Florida. Anyway, all right, as you guys file in and figure out where we're going to be at today, I'm pretty sure Codd's here. Is Coddington here? Let me text Coddington. I haven't seen him since we started. We are at a new place right now. Tea Time with Barry and Larry. Hang on. Barry and Larry. All right. As you guys file in, check out the newest Mountain Bear. It's called Corky Pope, and it's available right now exclusively at unbearablesmedia.com. And you can follow Mountain Bear wherever. He gets banned more than I do, so I don't know where he's at these days. But he's an absolute legend. And I made this with respect because I know there's a lot of Catholics that are bears, and they're wonderful people. And, there's a little bit of friction going on with some theological discussions, which I think has cooled down, which is awesome. Because the real division in the world has nothing to do with, how you see it. Is the world round or flat? Your views on the Trinity. It's, do you like good, true, beautiful, or do you want to destroy that? It's that simple. Another big divider is, if you could go back, would you? The red pill and the blue pill. And people have kind of lost the script a little bit on what the red pill is, but that's okay. And so, what's up, Bears? And so, Matt from Quantum Unconscious had a great stream about, like, if you could go back to the world of 2019, but give up all the knowledge you've learned since all this has happened, would you do it? And overwhelmingly, people said no, which is great because I wouldn't. There's no chance. Going, quote unquote, back to normal is like going back into the lullaby state of nonsense to be able to go watch your favorite porno or like go to watch the Yankees game and drink all your alcohol. I wouldn't go back. This last year, like what we've learned and all this stuff, it's incredible. And then you start getting real grateful of what's happened. It seems like the world's on fire. It seems like everyone's lost their mind. But the reason they're doing it, the reason they're doing the mask and the injection and all that, is because they desperately want to go back. They want to go back to the world before where they didn't know who everyone was. You know, I said a year ago that when the mask went on, the mask came off. Because people were revealed as what they truly were. And I know a lot of you might have really hard lives right now, like working in a office and everyone around you seems absolutely mental and there's narcissism running rampant and victim consciousness and all that. But would you go back and not know what your coworkers were? Would you want to go back and not know the cowardice your boss displayed or how strong and good some people are in your life? And the answer is definitely no. So anyway, this is my response to a lot of the theological disagreements I had with some Catholics, and much love to E. Michael Jones and all my friends that tried to set me on the right path. This is called Corky Pope. This was animated by Mountain Bear, and let's all enjoy it.
I don't want to hold Jesus on a cross anymore. It makes me sad. Why does it make you sad, Corky Pope? Because I love him. He freed me. Why do I want to look at him in pain? Well, Corky Pope, it's because the pain is what set us free. No, it meant it set us free. He's Logos incarnate. The message he delivered set us free. No, it's his pain, goddammit. It's the blood. I don't like you. You're very scary. Can I take my giant penis hat off? This doesn't make any sense to me. How can we... Jesus said that being super rich doesn't save you at all. In fact, it makes it a lot harder. We're the largest landowner in the whole world. Jesus said, call no man father. Why is everyone calling me father? Jesus said to have a beard. Why did nobody around me have any beard? Jesus said, be fruitful and multiply. Why are we all a bunch of pedophiles who never actually make any children? Jesus said titles and status don't matter. Why do we have a very distinct hierarchy of cardinals and bishops and monsignors and priests? It doesn't... What is it? This is ridiculous. Why is everyone calling me father? Well, Corky Pope, it's because they're all ridiculously stupid people or lying. Oh, Jesus.
All right, so I hope that helped clear up the theological debate between, a bunch of Catholics and a comedian. So that's kind of where that goes. All right, let's continue. I got a lot of good stuff for you guys today. On to better pastures, literally, than that horrifying display of upside down thinking. Here is Dandy coming in from a very far away field. She is more obedient to me than my dog George, who's gotten better, but whatever. And then, of course, Apollo the goat, who spends all his time with cows. It's very interesting. Apollo the goat is a lot like Red Pill Rooster is with chickens, where he doesn't hang with his own kind. He comes back and forth, but Apollo's a fascinating little goat. He's very, very intelligent. And, I thought about eating him because he's just constantly annoying us with getting through fences. I've grown to respect him, and he's now probably my favorite goat.
Dandy!
There she comes.
Come on, Dandy! Dandy! Good girl, Dandy! Come on, Dandy!
The prodigal goat. That's hilarious.
Come on, Daddy Vance.
She's so excited, but she gets cautious.
Here comes the rain. Come on, Daddy. And there she is. There's the Daddy Vance. There's the Daddy Vance.
You want to see an 18-year-old dog still crushing? Here's my dog, Benny, who's been with me through. I love this dog. And it's so good that he can be outside now more. And I think he's pretty blind, but check this out. This should be kind of hopeful feeling. Watch how much he can still run around.
Come on, Benny.
Where's Ben doing? Look at him. He's running.
Hi, Benny. Hi, buddy. Let's go.
He can still
Come
run.
on,
Watch
Benny.
this.
You're a good boy, buddy. You're a good boy.
Look at him. 18 years old. What a champion. I just want to show that. Yeah, I think eating raw milk, I think because we feed him so much raw milk, I think that's really good for old anything. That's what the Rockefellers all, that old Rockefeller, that first one, that old vampire, he survived till he was in his, I think he was over 100 on human breast milk. All right, here's the first entropy strats. Missing the live stream since YouTube pulled the plug, but found a spot to listen to them later on, which I'm grateful for. Awesome, John. Friday's stream was incredible. So many syncs for me. It was wild. Thanks, BB. Anytime. Palestinian Ghost says, Big Bear, you say the truth, but the guilty hates the truth. The guilty fear the truth. The guilty hide the truth. Respect. Yeah, I did a couple Instagram streams that are at unauthorized.tv now yesterday about that, about the relationship between the narcissist and the empath, and how, contrary to not popular belief, contrary to troll belief, I'm actually an extreme empath, not narcissist. But the narcissist and the empath can develop these really bad batteries together. Like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't sometimes get drawn to narcissistic behavior in people. And then they usually tell you who they are, and then they start exploiting you. And so I've gotten a lot better at it. And it's in these times, it's really good to understand narcissistic behavior and psychopathic behavior, because I think the internet is created a lot of insignificant narcissists. Because in the past, a narcissist would either do something really great or really terrible. Rather, they want to feed and eat off human emotion, which usually comes from the empath. And so they would do that by either becoming like a criminal. You know, being infamous was the same as being famous. It's a lot like a stripper, a woman with borderline personality disorder. Whether you love them or hate them, they just want energy. And so there develops this weird battery. It's kind of like the Catholics and the Jews, the pedestal and the pit. You know, they develop this like weird battery where they kind of like need each other. Or like the urban liberal white and the victim black. You know, that weird battery. And I've experienced that. Because I'm like, I know it sounds weird because I have a job that appears like it would be narcissistic, because I have no problem with attention and all that stuff. But in reality, I'm not at all. In fact, ask anybody who's hung out with me in real life. Like, I don't cause drama. I don't seek attention. I don't like make a scene. I just like, I observe. I have a very sensitive tuning fork. And I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys get it. Tea time is crushing. All right, next up is... I wouldn't be too worried about the CIA, guys. Check this out. Oh, hang on. Since you brought up this empath narcissistic thing, I've been analyzing the hell out of myself because I've had several parasitic people latch on in my life. Yeah, one thing to watch out for, though, is don't just start calling everybody you don't like a narcissist or a psychopath. Women do that all the time. They're like, oh, my God, he's such an... I dated a psychopath. That's like a way to get into victim consciousness without realizing it. You know, a lot of qualities that they say narcissists have is just like highly ambitious people are like that too. Watch out for the guy who, I don't want to get into it again. I talked about it a lot on the, basically a narcissistic psychopath has no empathy. Like they don't feel other people's emotions. Empathy is also really bad if you have too much of it, which I've had. Like, I'm like, and for those of you that have watched me long enough, you know it's true. It's like playing music by ear, seeing patterns, like predicting people's behavior. It's because I can feel it. Like if someone's really happy, I literally can feel the happiness. If someone hits their knee on a table, I can feel the pain, literally. And so that isn't good either because it's very easy to be manipulated when you're highly empathetic because that's why narcissists are drawn to empaths to like scare them or love bomb them or like tell them how great they are and then scare them and get really mad at them because people like me are highly reactive to that because we can feel a lot. And it's better to be compassionate, not empathetic. Compassion is more like how Jesus was, where he would recognize the suffering in others, but he wouldn't physically feel it. A psychopath doesn't recognize, like a narcissist doesn't recognize, or not only do they not feel emotions in others, they don't even recognize them. They see other people as simply energy batteries. And so watch out for that and don't feed them. That's why they say don't feed the trolls. We're dealing with an underclass of insignificant narcissists. Back in the day, a narcissist would be like Alexander the Great or Mean Mr. Mustache. You know, say what you will about them, but their self-absorption and their like self-idolatry led to massive accomplishment. Now, with the I world, lowercase I phone, lowercase I whatever, iCloud, lowercase I, the lowercase I is the symbol of the self-absorbed, insignificant man, where it's like, it doesn't, they don't even do anything. You know, say what you will about Alexander the Great or Mean Mr. Mustache, at least they like, their narcissism led to something. You know, this entire underclass, it's about to be just devoured, by the way, of the insignificant narcissist is like the king of the world in their mom's basement, just trying desperately to suck energy from actual human beings. All right. I just find that kind of interesting, but don't spend too much time thinking about it. Don't spend too much time analyzing because psychology of demons and all that, it's good to understand the wolf, to understand the predator, to understand the coyote, the bottom feeder, or the opportunist when you're protecting the flock, when you're protecting your family. But then just stop thinking about it. Build defense, understand the nature, get the guard dog, and then call it a day. Because another thing I've noticed is sometimes people fetishize psychopaths. You know, like the people that watch endless documentaries on serial killers and stuff, there's almost like an envy of it, where they almost like want to be that in a weird way. It's how a lot of people are with the Jews, where it's like, yeah, identify, not the Jew, like the Zionist types. Identify banking or media or whatever you want, and then just forget about it. Like, don't get involved in those worlds and just, who cares? There's a lot of people that all they think about is like how they're being held down by a small tribe. And it's like, but you're not really. That's like if I just all day thought about coyotes coming to eat my goats and how the coyote. It's like, dude, move on. Like admiration almost. Yeah, people are like that with, you know, like it's like the women that date psychopaths and then they obsess about them for 10 years. It's like, so do you hate them or love them? You know, and then women will falsely identify that as loyalty. It's like, he banged my sister and tried to kill me, but I still love him. It's like, no, that's not love, lady. All right. Let's continue. So I wouldn't worry too much about the CIA. They've gone woke. They're now hiring the blind, which means Big Brother is no longer watching. Watch this.
Me to CIA. That's a very interesting story. I was a college student. I was low vision at that time. I still used handheld magnifying glasses to work or to read. I was not able to find fulfilling employment. Trying to find a job that, would really take me on my journey in a career was virtually impossible. I was really frustrated and pretty humiliated. Someone with a disability, finding rejection is fairly common, I think, especially with opportunities at times. So when my friend had told me to apply, I told him, I said, I don't think so. I don't need that level of rejection. You really think the CIA will hire me? He kept encouraging me. I thought, well, you've got nothing to lose. I heard from them within 3 months, and I was hired to be a receptionist. It was my first position here. And I was so flattered and so stunned. I remember distinctly walking.
Guys, the CIA will literally hire anybody. There was another video about this Latina mother of two who kind of left her children to have this ridiculous career. And she's an analyst for the CIA, and she's constantly having anxiety, depression. She identifies as cis, and I mean, it's a joke. And so when people are like, oh, the CIA, they couldn't pull off an assassination. I mean, maybe. I'm not taunting them. Of course they still can. I'm not challenging them. I get it. You have very sneaky, awesome weaponry and all that. But I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. I want my spy agencies to hire strong males that can see. Bet she's not even blind. Oh, no, she's blind. Because this is the push they're doing. I mean, the CIA is trying to watch this.
These large hallways at headquarters and thinking, I can't believe they let me be here. I can't believe that they're going to let me show that I can do a job, that I am a professional, that, they're giving me a chance.
Guys, look at all these legendary white males on the wall. Look at that. White male, white male. And then you got a blind lady. And I know white's an invention and it doesn't really matter. I get it. But when people are like, oh, they're spying on me, it's they can't even see. I don't think anybody's spying on us. I think that they have apparatuses where they could if they want. But I think that I think the central bank is going for it. And I think they're so fueled by narcissistic psychopathy that they're like, we're going to win. We're going to own the whole world. But they don't have any ability of ruling, governing, nothing. It's just nonsense at this point. She feels you, BB. Oh, no, she's probably like, let me see your face. A blind white lady. But white doesn't do it. They're trying to scoop up anybody that'll do it. It's because people aren't having kids. Want who's having kids? Big Bear. Check this out. My children are already taking over the labor force. As you can see, they've already started a union. They keep claiming I'm busting their balls and they need a 15er. Here is one of my construction workers. His name is Charles. I mean, the bottom line is people didn't have enough kids. And that's just the bottom. And you can blaming Jews is so 2019, guys. They don't matter at all. Blame. Oh, they're trying to hurt me. We need supplements in our food. They're trying to hurt me. They make it so we're sick. They make it so we're mad. No, they don't matter. People didn't have kids that work. I know people that are doing great. There's not enough employees for the work up here. People want to talk about how unemployment's on the rise and everybody's going to be so poor. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of poor people in America very soon. There's tons. I see for hire signs everywhere. Every single contractor I know is looking for workers nonstop. And it's people are like, why would I get a check in the mail? That money ain't going to be worth much soon. Blaming the Jews is so 2019. Yeah, you got to go through the phase. I also don't fully trust people that never went through the Jew phase. Because it's so when you found out that there's people that self-identify with one group that literally own just about everything, that it's 16 million of them in the whole world, that didn't alarm you at all. I have a hard time believing that. But then you go through the phase and you realize that it's your own fault. It's your own sloth, your own greed, your own lust. No one makes you watch porn. No one makes you take drugs and drink. No one makes you not grow your own food. The time when America was seen as so great, it was because people literally did everything themselves. The average man could work with metals, could grow food, had his own weaponry, had his own family, giant family, huge extended family, clans. People work together. Nowadays, people are like, if you don't have the same theology as me, I'm going to ruin your life. Back in the day, you know, my grandfather, when his first wife died in childbirth, his second wife, dude, what they had in common was like, you got socks? I got socks too for the winter. I got an extra pair of socks. You want to get married? And they're like, I thought you'd never ask. You have socks I can wear? And now it's like this hyper specific narcissistic thing where it's like, what I want out of my comedian live streamer is I want them to, like, you know, be very accomplished, but throw it all away for their principles, and then be super anti-PC, but at the same time be very God-fearing, have the family, do the homesteading, but they also need to completely believe the Trinity in the way I do, or else I'm just going to try and ruin their life. Good luck. Back in the day, it was like, dude, this guy's got, you know, this guy, I get along with him kind of, I guess. He's only killed like 2 guys. And dude, my childhood was more like that. People didn't do this massive division thing all the time because other people were your asset. Now with this central bank gone wild, this like, you know, and it's gone wild, guys. They're like going to own the world. I mean, allegedly, not really, but it's like in their little game because they're paying people to stay at home. Exactly. Right. But that there's it's a setup. It's like jabbing, bang, right? A jab in boxing is to get someone to move their body and protect one area. Jab. All he's doing is jabbing. Oh, he's gonna use his other hand. Nope, just a jab, bang, just a jab, bang, right? And so they just start overcorrecting, bang, right? And that's just like, ugh. And that's exactly what's happening right now. They are crying out to Satan in the honor of the grace. But see, another thing is like, and dude, the fear though, the truth community, the Christians, they're no better than the sheep. The fear level of like, they are going to do this, they're coming. It's like, so what are you doing about it? Nothing. I'm just very scared. It's like that fear, rule by fear is the problem. And so, you know, there's an entire chat for all their epic. I don't know what that means. I see YouTube chat is on today. Been a minute. Well, we will be turning it off as soon as Coddington gets off his fat ass. Let's see where Coddington is. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to turn off the chat. It's fine. Because we're just going to take down these videos as soon as we do them anyway. Literally doesn't matter. You can go in the chat all you want and be like, he's an Israeli shield. He's a Jew. He's going to die. He's a narcissist. He's a cult leader. Just drift off. Just drift away. And I get why people have called me all these names because they're so used to being manipulated by narcissistic psychopaths, or they are a narcissistic psychopath and they just want to get a reaction out of me. Working on preparing for the build. Nice, Kyneton Bear. I love it. That, like, for example, dude, we like Van Allen and Harmony got married at Bertaria this weekend. And the narcissistic psychopathic troll person can't see that. It's very fascinating. I don't want to spend much time thinking about it, but they're like, that isn't real. Like, they'll look at that and be like, that's not real. It's still a scam. And I'm like, dude, how is that a scam? And they're like, it can't be real because if it's real, it means I'm wrong. It's just pure narcissism. And then they call me the narcissist when I'm the empath. It's the upside down world. And it's like, hey, how dare you? How dare you crowdfund land where you can have bears marry? Like, show me one philanthropist that's ever done that. All they do is shuffle money back and forth. They have these trusts and foundations and all this stuff that they claim is philanthropy. All they do is say, oh, rebuild Haiti. Let's raise money. And then everyone gives them money. And then they just give it to their friends. And then they just go back and forth and back and forth. That's how you get, like, one Haitian mud hut was like $10 million to build. You know, it's just a way to make money. Like, every dollar you guys have ever given for Ursa Rio is spent buying the land and building it. Like that on a river. Guys, it was like this beautiful Orthodox wedding. And it's like there's a running water behind it. They looked awesome. You know, friends, family, people from all over came up. Everybody brought food from their homesteads under this tent. And it was like everybody's like having a blast. Look at that scenery. Guys, like to rent a space like that would be like $20,000. And then they would cancel it and make you wear masks. We got around the whole thing. And then the narcissistic psychopathic troll, just bottom feeding, is just like, because we used to think that when we pulled stuff off, when we actually came through, they'd go away, and they don't go away. And guys, I don't know, their future is so dark that it's troubling for an empath. But, you know, it is what it is. Let the dead bury the dead, as they say. Meanwhile, listen, guys, the 80s weren't as good as everyone wants to remember them. Check this out. You guys remember this?
The AIDS diet plan helped me lose 28 pounds.
AIDS helps control your appetite so you lose weight. Yet AIDS lets you taste, chew, and enjoy. And the appetite suppressant in AIDS is not a stimulant.
AIDS helped me to lose 18 pounds, and it doesn't contain anything to make me nervous.
Question: why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS? AIDS helps you lose weight without making you jittery.
Amazing. You remember that? Yeah, that was a real thing. And is that a metaphysical joke that took 30 years? Yes. AIDS. Be like, why take diet pills when you can just get AIDS? All right, I was dying when I saw this on Rabbi's IG. Yeah, for those of you that just came in, I really wanted to make peace with all the Catholics. So here is a new Mountain Bear exclusive available at unbearablesmedia.com. It's called Corky Pope. I just want to let you guys know, all you Catholics out there, that I totally understand your argument. This is said from the point of view of someone with severe Down syndrome.
I don't want to hold Jesus on a cross anymore. It makes me sad. Why does it make you sad, Corky Pope? Because I love him. He freed me. Why do I want to look at him in pain? Well, Corky Pope, it's because the pain is what set us free. No, it meant it set us free. He's going to go with incarnate. The message he delivered set us free. No, it's his pain, goddammit. It's the blood. I don't like you. You're very scary. Can I take my giant penis hat off? This doesn't make any sense to me. How can we... Jesus said that being super rich doesn't save you at all. In fact, it makes it a lot harder. We're the largest landowner in the whole world. Jesus said, call no man father. Why is everyone calling me father? Jesus said to have a beard. Why is nobody...
Real quick, Ka just had a great point. He said... Why isn't the symbol for Christianity the moved stone? Why is it the cross? Well, I have an answer for you, but it's okay. We can just continue on. Oh, how dare you? I can't handle this with my comedian. This is not okay for me. Okay, insignificant narcissist. Keep building that wall. Keep building that wall around you. We'll see if anybody's there when the lights go out. That's why Vox Day has it perfectly. He's like, what you have in common with people is the good, the true, and the beautiful. When you see good, true, beautiful things, do you want to support it or do you want to destroy it? But you're neither good, true, nor beautiful. That's not the Trinity. The real Trinity. It's like, good luck with you. Meanwhile, the Bertarian birth rate is off the charts. We will repopulate the world. When the sterility coming out of the banks right now, encouraging everybody to live sterile, pointless lives, will just keep dying. They can claim they're getting a bigger piece of a shrinking pie. And so I got no problem with the central banks and buying the world and all that stuff and trying to create this slave class. And great. You do you. Meanwhile, there's a million ways to not engage in that. It's avoiding the slowest moving train in human history. Just don't be a psychopathic narcissist and you'll be fine. Or you can spend 24 hours a day, every day, trying to prove that I'm a liar. Because that, I don't know, is someone paying you guys in methamphetamines? It's just like wild. Keep it up though, man. It's a good time. Anyway, back to bridge building with my Catholics. Here we go.
Have any beard. Jesus said, be fruitful and multiply. Why are we all a bunch of pedophiles who never actually make any children? Jesus said titles and status don't matter. Why do we have a very distinct hierarchy of cardinals and bishops and monsignors and priests? It doesn't. Why is it? This is ridiculous. Why is everyone calling me father? Well, Corky Pope, it's because they're all ridiculously stupid people or lying. Oh, Jesus.
I just want to play in the field. And for those people that want to pretend that I'm mocking people with Down syndrome, the entire point is that someone with Down syndrome is more intelligent, more spiritually aware than the Pope. Corky President, if you'd like to see that under the Mountain Bear category at unbearablesmedia.com, go watch it. The president is just talking about what a nation is. Like, though a nation is its people. It's like, oh yes, but not in America. It's lines in the dirt, the very magic dirt. It's like, so why is the Cherokee Nation not in a specific place called Cherokee? Well, the Cherokee Nation is its people. So the United States nation is its people. No. It's anybody that comes here on this very special land. I don't think that makes any sense at all. Every time you see someone redefining words, they're lying. And someone with Down syndrome is so angelic and so pure, a lot of them, that they see right through it. That's why the system wants to abort people with Down syndrome. That's why they have tests. I'm telling you guys, we want Down syndrome people. They have tests to see if an unborn baby may have Down syndrome, and then they're encouraged to kill that child. Why? It's because the Down syndrome guy can see right through it. Because they're not motivated by the same fallen stuff as a lot of non-Down syndrome people. Down syndrome folks are almost all love. In Africa, in certain tribes, they would call them angels. Because they see right through shit. It's like, a nation is its people, but so why but you're flooding it with new people. It's like, well, Corky Pope, it has to do with money. It's like, money doesn't make me very happy at all. I want to play in the field. And it's like, uh-oh. Because the entire system apparatus is based on envy. Capitalism is based on envy. And we're reaching the death throes of the capitalist system. I'm not a communist. In fact, our capitalist system is quickly becoming communist because it's two wings of the same retarded bird. Oh, how dare you? You're so retarded. I think the bird's retarded. It's an underdeveloped bird. The entire system is like run by 12-year-olds. They're like, I'm going to make them pay for being mean to me. You can't invert them. They see simple truth because they don't want what you offer. If you're like, well, Corky Poke, you can have a 401k and then at 63 you can play golf in it. Why don't I play it right now? Well, Corky Pope, you have to engage in 45 years of slavery before you can play golf. It's like, but I have a golf club in my hand. Why do I have to go into a cubicle 10 hours a day for my life? Why don't I just do this right now? Well, Corky Pope, you haven't earned it. You haven't earned it with your slavery. I don't want child sex. The Downs kid that bags the grocery store gets excited when I come in and not wearing a mask. He never said it, but he sees the truth. Oh, yeah, he's like, I like to see your faith. It's like, I have never known anybody to die of COVID-19, but I have 3 uncles who committed suicide because they thought world was a very dark place. It's like, well, Corky Pope, those suicides were actually the COVID-19 deadly virus. Like, but if I don't know anybody that died of COVID-19, and it's been over a year. Wouldn't a pandemic at least have taken the life of one person I knew that wasn't 90 years old and obese? Well, Corky Pope, it's a terrible disease. How dare you? No, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying I have 3 uncles that all killed themselves because their business went out of business and they felt there was no hope in this dark world. How is that not the pandemic? It's fear and hopelessness. Corky Pope, that is not the pandemic. Now you put your mask on, Corky Pope. All right, here's some, same with Glober Sniper. Yeah, it's hilarious. All right, Michael says, I've been freeloading long enough. Here's a tip for the piano man. Florida's a shithole. COD should move. He likes Florida. Thank you, by the way. EntropyStream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. Corky's Third Eye Crushes. Yeah. Dude, when me and Mountain Bear first started doing the Corky character, people with Down syndrome children were writing to Mountain Bear, like in comments, like, this is amazing. This is the angelic reality of people with Down syndrome. And of course, the system deleted the channel. You know, it's because it's like they don't want anyone to just see that. And it's a spiritual thing. It's like, because hope and beauty, good, true, beautiful things that elevate the soul. That's why the dark people want just boxes and disgusting architecture. They don't want people to know that weddings by a river are possible. Think about how hard we've worked all year to make that possible. For Bertaria, you know, we raised $9,000 within an hour on what's it called? GoFundMe, and they canceled it and took the money. They were like, no, white supremacy. So what about the brown guy that was at the wedding? Is he a white supremacist? Oh, he's deluded by the cult. You sure we're the cult and not the ones that are told to put a mask on their kid and inject them with a strange potion? Doesn't that sound a little more cult-like? You know, people want to talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. Well, what about injecting the Kool-Aid? Does it have to be, if you drank what's currently being injected in people, it'd be a lot healthier. It's a death cult. That system is a death cult. I don't want to put something in my body. Well, you have to, Corky Pope, or else others will die. But if it worked, why would they die? Oh, God damn it, Corky Pope. Corky Doctor would be hilarious. Because you need to have something called herd immunity. Herd immunity? Show me that in nature. I never, what the fuck are you talking about? Good, true, beautiful versus bad, evil, false, and ugly. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. This is pretty funny. This is, Feline Dion. Feline Dion. Yeah, Frontline's Jack Bear just brought up a good point. Yeah, the cult is telling you to not see your families. Who's actually the group telling you not to have contact with your families? Is it me? Is it the Bears? Or is it the other group? Who's telling you that your family is evil? Seems kind of like cult behavior, huh? Let me see. Compliance through wearing a mask, accepting lies, injecting poison, potentially like the mystery juice in your body, and worship, and then also your family is bad if they disagree. That's why I recommend that you don't get scared of people that have taken the vaccine, because then you just become a cult. It's the same thing. And I got a lot of friends that are like, no, you don't understand, Big Bear. The protein, it makes the women have bad periods. And I'm like, dude, as soon as, it doesn't matter how they get you. And I called the vaccine flip script months ago, and people wouldn't believe me. It's 100%. Tucker Carlson's reporting on what is in the vaccine. So it's like, if you kick the people with vaccines out of your life, it's the same end goal. It's just divide and conquer. It's narcissistic, psychopathic behavior where you're like, if your mom took the vaccine, you can't hug her because then you might have a miscarriage. Then people go, well, Big Bear, what if they do have a miscarriage? Then it's on you. No, it's not. It's not on me. And the people said the same thing about COVID. They said, like, right as it was happening, I said, this isn't real. And they go, so all the deaths will be on your hands. I'm like, no, it's a morality system, and science is a real process. Is there any evidence that someone who took a vaccine will emit poison to you and hurt you or your family in any way? Well, Dr. Sharon Two-Nickel says, oh, yes, because of ferrets. I'm like, I'm not buying it for a second. I know people that I've hugged. Jesus said, hug the leper. The leper is not your problem. I know people that have been like tweaked on meth and booze and pills and really sickly, and I've hugged them. People missing their teeth, and nothing happened to me. You know? Hugging another human being is not like, what is it? How many of you guys has yawned? A fraction of you guys has yawned because viruses are spread through empathic delivery systems. You see someone yawning, your body says, you know, I could use a little more oxygen. I'm going to do that too. You see someone with chicken pox, you go, oh, you know what? I'm going to expel some heavy metals from my body. That's all it is. Some of you didn't yawn because you didn't have the empathetic response, or your body said, I don't need oxygen right now. Many of you guys just yawned, and you think it was invisible things called germs that only someone with a big nose and a white jacket can identify? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. How many of you guys just yawned? Did a germ go through the internet? Why did you just yawn? Because you saw someone yawning. It's the same with the flu. You see someone, what is a flu? What is influenza? It's your body purging. Your body said, I want to get rid of a lot of toxic stuff, and this big fat fuck won't stop eating for 3 days. So I'm going to make him shit himself, and snot will pour out of his nose, and he will get a fever to burn out all this shit, and he won't have any appetite, and then maybe we won't get cancer. That's how it works, guys. All right, no one ever cared to save people from the flu by, yeah. The vaccine, it's a psychopathic response. It's psychopathic, guys. Inject me with the poison. Big fat fuck, where's Amy Schumer? Right, you guys get it. Everyone's crushing. All right, here's how we decentralize. I yawn when people close to me yawn like family, but not at work. Could it be? Yeah, because you're not empathetically connected to them. That's why your tribe determines your vibe, and your vibe determines your tribe. That's why people will follow this stream anywhere I go, and it's not because I'm cult-like. It's because the energy in this community is healing. Because when you're around other hopeful people, other people laughing, other people with families, you feel that. And you can feel it through a screen. This is your delivery mechanism. Shaking hands, hugging, you don't get sick from that. You get sick from being around sick people with sick minds. And scared people. But the thing is, this is why I don't recommend just like getting rid of people in your life. Hope is more contagious. Oh, hopium. No, it's like my life has gotten better every day since people told me my life was over. Why is that? Yeah, the stream vectored. Right. You want to see how we decentralize? Here's just our numbers on Telegram. We've had almost 15 million views. The main channel, WDTL Podcast, WDTL Bonus, D-Live Bear Streams, Owen Benjamin Comedian, Unbearables Media, Ursa Manor, Ursa Rio, Owen Benjamin Clips. Okay, this is like just the stats on Telegram. Now go look at BitChute, look at Odyssey, Rumble, Unauthorized.tv, Mirror Channels, Gab, all of it. They can't stop it when you have the mission. People want to feel depressed and anxious and, like end times and what's the point and they and Jews own it all and all that because they don't want to put in any work. Think about how easy life is if you think we're in the end times. The Bible says you don't know when the end times will be, so just act as if it's not the end times. Jesus will return like a thief in the night. No man knows the hour. It's very outlined. I know Corky Pope has made it so nobody thinks that way. It's only about end times. Oh, the rapture. Oh, Obama's the Antichrist. Oh, really? Or is that because if you think that the world's ending, you don't have to build anything. You don't have to try. You don't have to stand up to anybody. You don't have to have children. You don't have to do shit. You can be a selfish little narcissistic scumbag because it's ending anyway. Why matter? Why does it even matter? Imagine if you're on a ship with just a little leak and everyone's like, oh, it's over anyway. Just start jerking off. Even if it is the end times, who are you preparing for? Christ or the Antichrist? Exactly. They're upset because they secretly know that that's what they're going to do. I've watched a lot of people that told me they would never take the vax, and it's the people that were the most obsessed. The ones that are like, no, they're going to come shoot it in my anus. Oh, they're going to break down the door. What am I going to do? They're going to get me somehow. I'm talking about people that have been awake to the vax longer than me. Like when I was vaccinating my first 2 kids, were like, don't do that. And it's like, end times are boring. Let's make beginnings. Totally. The end times talk is dumb. It's boring. It's gay. You know, whether it's like global warming end times or Christian end times or any of it, it's like, what are you trying to get away with, buddy? Oh, they won't even let me speak anymore because YouTube. And I'm like, then go to BitChute. Oh, well, one day they're just going to take BitChute too. Then make your own. Well, then, but then the Chinese are going to just take it and they're going to make me do anal. Are they going to make you do anal or are you just going to do anal? We have more viewers now. Like, I went to a barbecue yesterday. It was the best people. And Amy met them all through, like, mutual friends. And it was just, like, moms and stuff. 3 of the dudes watch this stream all the time. You know, like, it's crazy how many people are, like, dialed into the whole process. It's like, and a lot of them watch on Telegram, on Unauthorized, on BitChute, on all these other platforms. Because thinking that YouTube is the be-all, end-all is death. It's because people don't want to work. They don't want to have a stream so good that people will follow you wherever you go. They're like, well, the YouTube algorithm has tricked people into following me, so now if they kick me out, what am I going to do? Let's see where I'm at. This is my, 10th YouTube channel. There's 630 people watching me on YouTube right now. A channel that's never uploaded any videos, and I've never went live before. Well, that's because you're in a cult. And it's the end times. Now take your poison. It's like, okay, man. Well, the reality is the world's gone fucking insane. But the good news is if you're not energetically sucking from the world, you won't be affected. Because I've had that. I've had melancholy even recently looking at the world and thinking about how just absolutely insane it's gotten. And it's like, the reason it causes pain is because there's something about it that you're still feeding from. If you're not feeding from the world, like the Amish are not bummed out. You could call the Amish a cult and look how successful they are. A cult is like an actual cult, a destructive cult, the things that people call cults. They want to separate you from your family. They want to parasitically take all your resources, and it's self-destructive by nature. You can't possibly. Can someone please? Oh, Rhino Bear. Oh, here's Rhino Bear. Rhino Bear just trained with why am I spacey? He's like one of my best friends. Vertec Tactical. My boy Brandon. Check this out. They did a quick sketch. It's called. We made AJ Rhino Bear a little more Idahoan. Watch this. This is hilarious.
Thanks for coming out to Vertec all the way from New York.
Yeah, bro, it was awesome. Thanks for teaching me how to shoot my 22, baby.
22. Bro. This is fucking Idaho. That's more fucking like it.
Are you kidding me, man? The Bears, baby! No one is having more fun than us.
That's awesome, dude. That makes me laugh. It's like, I got my 22. It's like, welcome to Idaho. It's like, bang, 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 bang. Yeah. Looks fun. So fun. And this is the good news. Even like my friends that are super into training and guns and both, no one's really fearing violence anymore. Except for that like Yugoslavian type breakdown of system violence. But like, there's no army. It's not happening, guys. Like the fear, it's all spiritual. Dude, like that little grappler in the wheelchair, FDR, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Is kind of fucking true. I hate to give it to the grappler in the wheelchair, but like, I don't even think he had polio. I think he was just trying to garner sympathy with black magic. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Who knows? How dare you? I'm so offended. Keep it up. And guys, it's everywhere. It's not the Jews or the banks or the media. It's people. It's this narcissism is everywhere. Hating the Jews for your problems is the same problem. It's like you don't need to eat their food. It's like hookers. I'm like seeing all these hookers being like, my daddy's so mean. Where are you going? I'm going to suck on my daddy's dick. It's like, why don't you get a new pimp or just go solo? It's like, I can't get solo. My daddy protect me and give me my crack. Oh, my daddy's such a bad daddy. He owned a media. He owned a bank. My daddy a bad dad. Okay, so go off on your own. But then I don't get no crack rock. Okay, man. Well, you want the crack rock. Oh, maybe not for you. Maybe not for you. Dude, I faced so many obstacles. Hating the Jews for your problems is a waste of energy. Here's the craziest part. I was telling this to someone yesterday. They feed on it. Not they, like there's a cohesive Jew. It's a nonsense spell. But like the narcissistic psychopaths that you think you're doing something to when you hate them, they live on that. The best thing to do is starve it. Starve it of your hate just like your dependence. Dependency they live on, love, fake love, and then also hate. They love quote-unquote anti-Semites because it feels like they matter. It's just, I can do the fractals in your life. The stripper with the boyfriend that's obsessed with her that beats her is just as good as the one who's obsessed with her and takes her to Hawaii. Because they're psychopathic. Like in women, it's called borderline personality disorder, but it's like eyeballs are the key. It's just like Lil Nas X will take his eyeballs any way he can get it. By triggering Christians into calling him Satan or whatever, he doesn't care. He's like, look at me, fear me, hate me, pour it on me. Because it doesn't matter. And people go, oh, just like you, Big Bear. I'm not motivated by attention. Ask anybody in the chat who's ever been around me. Comedy rants. Comedy is grandiose. Comedy can always appear a little narcissistic because you're doing a show. Like, I'm here to make people laugh. And imagine if you analyzed Eddie Murphy, George Carlin, Louis Black, like any of these people, and you're like, oh, this person's a narcissist. Or maybe they're doing a craft called comedy. In real life, in person, do I seek attention and take over rooms? And no, not even a little bit. Do I cause drama and every time my family wants to do something, the sky's falling and everyone has to look at me? No, of course not. That's insane. I'm like the gray man. I blend in. Comedy can appear narcissistic by its nature because you can't be a humble comic. It's not possible. It's like a warrior. It's like a soldier. You can't be a humble warrior. I mean, you can in your personal life, but when you're out there, like, that's death. And so hopefully that helps people understand that don't seem to get that, where it's like the ranting, the grandiose, calling Coddington dirt buckets, this Floridian trash. Coddington's clearly one of my best friends. Like, he's a great human being. Why do I do that? Because it's funny. It's not because, oh, you're abusing Coddington, Bear. You're abusive. It's funny. It's what comedy is. Now, if I was like a middle school principal and Coddington was like a math teacher and we didn't have any friendship or history or work together or anything, and I just kept abusing him, like I went into his classroom and I'm like, you're trash. Your puns aren't funny. You're a piece of shit. Where's your dirt buckets, Coddington? Yeah, that's narcissistic behavior. That's abusive as fuck. In this scenario, it's not even a little bit. And I know the narcissist psychopath won't understand what I'm saying right now because they'll be like, what he really means is, but it's for the people that have never been explained any of this because their schools are void of comedy and connection and faces and truth. When people are in different scenarios, that isn't abusive. If your teacher is being abusive to you, most likely, telling you to wear a mask, putting something around your desk, not letting you play with other kids, teaching you that people landed on the moon and played golf and couldn't go back because technology went backwards from 1969. Like, that's abuse. Lying is abusive as fuck. When you give someone a worldview that isn't real, that's abuse. When you belittle someone that isn't in a comedic, bonding male-male relationship, that's abuse. I don't have power over Coddington Bear. It's like, so just maybe that helps you understand that the world is riddled with psychopathic narcissism. And the irony is a lot of them are calling me that because they want to feed on my reaction. And so I recommend just understanding that characteristic. And it is a self-preservation mechanism. It comes from childhood abuse. But don't try and fix them. Don't try and show them the light. When I'm explaining this, it's not to change the mind of the trolls. It's all the people that no one's explained this. Because you could look at a comedy set and say, oh, that's narcissistic behavior. Look, he's being abusive. He's mocking someone in a wheelchair. He's doing this. Oh, he's obsessed with himself. The applause, it looks like he's really into it. It's the skill of comedy. It'd be the same thing of showing a football player and saying, that's a psychopathic, violent man. Look at him. As soon as he sees another man, he wants to hurt him and hit him. It's like, it's his job. And a lot of them are just fine in person. They don't just fucking beat everyone up. Granted, sometimes it draws a certain type of person, but in general, it's like he doesn't hate the running back. Like the linebacker isn't. It's not like, oh, a human being, bang. Oh my God, look, he's probably a serial killer. It's his job. The comedy job is to be exciting to watch for 2 hours. You laugh. There's ranting. I make fun of people in wheelchairs and kind and dirt buckets. It's not mean. If I was the boss of someone in a wheelchair and people were not around me to laugh and all that, and I'm just like, you can't walk, you have a dead dick. And it's like, if you want to get a paycheck this weekend, you better take it from me. That's crazy behavior. Okay, here's some super chats. Keep on speaking truth to activate the people to prepare for the winter. Much love to the Big Bear Cod and all the mods and bears who make Beartaria something to cherish and work for. Yeah, I got to meet Copper Bear this weekend. Wonderful person. She gets it. She sees it at work. There's not enough workers, guys. There's not enough. She's in the transportation business. It's like, you want to come into work today and transport food to grocery stores? No, I got the sniffles. No, I got a check coming from the government. Okay, well, it's also all by design. It's the biggest money grab in human history. But there's ways around it. Local supply chains. The people that have been calling me a narcissist for the last 4 years, it's like I've given just spot on advice that if you've done it, you have children, you have way more wealth right now. And the ones who refuse to listen, the ones that are like, you're a piece of shit, Big Bear. Copper Bear, were you not at Beartaria this weekend watching a wedding at privately owned land where not one person was wearing a mask? Like, that was the dream we had. And people are like, oh, no, it can't be. Because if I collected money, I'd run away with it and whack off. Okay. Thanks for all the gravy and laughs. Anytime. All right. Thank you, Copper Bear. That was wonderful. You don't need to do that, by the way. We're doing fine. I know Coddington's like, God damn it, Big Bear. I get half of that. But it's like, I want people to make sure their resources are intact. I know you guys don't give away what you don't have, but like, you know, I don't need it. And Dirt Buckets is only going to give it to a bunch of wagon burners as he spins the wheel of luck. Isn't that right, Dirt Buckets? All right, narcissists don't give to charity, don't help others. No, but they pretend to. They all have a foundation. It's just like the biggest scripture quoters in the world are pathological narcissists. Because they pretend that that's what's like they're just trying to match the behavior of people they're trying to predate. That's why the biggest churchy and lawyers, the legal, the Christ lawyers, the ones that are like, no, I'm the special boy because I have the right Bible and you, sir. They have no idea what they're talking about. You can tell in their eyes and how they're talking that they have no connection whatsoever to the divine. None. They're just trying to virtue signal to other people so that they stay in their good graces and they can predate on them with sex, power, or money. That's all it is. And so they say, oh, well, according to King James and baby, you sir. Dude, anybody that's dialed into God does not act that way. It's like Bible thumpers always go for the night. Well, it's one thing to say, check this out in the Bible. This makes things make sense. Check out this passage. This is what Matthew said. But like, that's beautiful. But to be like, you sir, it's anti-Christian. It's anti-God. It's anti-everything good, true, and beautiful. You're trying to divide based on your interpretation of a book. Like, that's awful behavior. And if you can't handle a comedian mocking one of your dogmatic beliefs, You're in the wrong saloon. And me kicking out psychopaths makes them infuriated. Because how dare anybody take away their status with the Bears? It's like, get the fuck out of here. And then they make these long hour rant videos about me and then try and come back like nothing happened. They're like, hey, fellow Bears. It's like, dude, you just like called me the Antichrist to try and garner sex, money, power from retards. It's like, you saw that? Get the fuck out of here, man. By their fruits you shall know them. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so anyway, which one's this? Oh, here's what it's all about. I realized me and Jack are wearing the same shirt. Isn't that amazing? Which one's dirt? Oh, this is I when I mowed this weekend, that I came in and Amy's like, "You look like you're like a caveman." I look like I was from the Iron Age, just covered in dirt. Right now, Connington's like, "That's how a man's supposed to look, covered in the dirt." Because he's an artard. This is a great meme. Roses versus dandelions. Rose, the pH of this soil is too high. I am going to die. Dandelions, fuck yeah, concrete. Oh, and the most I love I think dandelions are my favorite flower. How dare you, the show comment. They're like the perfect flower because they're like, they become the yellow sun and then they become the silver moon and then they become the stars. Isn't that fascinating? Like the dandelion can survive concrete. They don't care. The rose is like, the pH is a little off, so I'm going to kill myself. The dandelion is like, concrete, this is great. And so it becomes like, I just mowed and I like decapitated all the dandelions. The next day they were right back. They have tons of vitamins and minerals in them. We're now making dandelion jelly and it tastes just like honey. It's amazing. It has tons of vitamin C. Yeah, and it's a yellow sun and then it becomes the silver moon. And then you blow on the moon and it becomes the stars. It's like the most amazing flower I've ever seen. Meanwhile, the road's like, but do you believe in the Trinity? I can't even hang. It's like, then get the fuck out of here. Now I'm going to try to ruin your life. You can't though. You're very weak. You're the Antichrist. Well, those are some beautiful lyrics of how it becomes the sun and stars. Yeah. Dandelion jelly, say what? Hey, love. She's got all the kids, so she's not going to come up. But yeah, you make dandelion jelly. It tastes exactly like honey. Isn't that just incredible? Oh, thank you. That was very generous. Let's read some letters now, shall we? Dandelion fuzz is also highly flammable. Good to know, Scar Bear. To my dearest rabbi, imam, comedian. It is with great joy I write my second letter. God has been benevolent as always, and my growth has allowed me to see more of him in my life. Since I last wrote, I joined the ArcTunes initiative with a volunteer team of a few. It took us 9 months to get from Vox's disappointment and call-to-call action to the launch last week. It's a blessing to use my technological skills for the good, beautiful, and true, and to minister in a way to those a lot like the younger self, male adolescent seeking guidance. Amazing. I will continue to volunteer my time with Arcaven while working at a liberal tech startup. I like it. I like where your head's at. Oh yeah, and you don't need to try and wake up liberals or anything. Guys, just slowly back away. Like, just fit in. I know that sounds weird coming from me, but like, oh, how dare you? I already alienated. No, I know. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that too. But like, just start building something else. Dude, they're gone, man. They're mentally so fucking gone. That victim consciousness is so crazy. They can get themselves out if they choose to leave. You know, an awesome bear, Hector Bear that's now a tool returner bear. He actually stopped over yesterday. I gave him a bunch of milk and everything. He's a great guy. He brought me quail eggs. And he was like, because he's like Mexican. He's American born, but Hispanic. And he was like, dude, I bought into the victim consciousness hard. And then for him, the flat earth thing was a big thing. But like, he just refused to do it. And now he doesn't really get along that well with a lot of Mexicans because he's loving the California bear meetups. But because the victim narrative is crazy with Mexicans right now. A lot of them. You know, a lot of them are like, You know, you have different categories, obviously. You have like your sovereign citizen, illegal Mexicans that are just working and crushing and just kind of disappearing and being kind of sketchy. But a lot of them have bought into the whole, like, the white man did this and all that. And he said it's miserable. You know, like the people that have gotten out, like me with Hollywood and shit, you couldn't make me go back. It's like, oh, Big Bear, they took your fucking career and everything. I'm like, you couldn't make me go back to that. Mexicans are just like, this was our land. Yeah, and they're right about a lot of it. It's like southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, southern Texas, southern California. They're kind of like physically equipped for it. You know, there's so much sun and desert and shit down there. You're going to want some little Ewoks to kind of run the place. The whites are northern people. I don't see how this is super hard to understand, but, you know, people are crazy. Like, the Mexicans get really depressed and unhealthy in northern Idaho. It's one of the reasons they don't live here. The blacks in Detroit would get incredible vitamin D deficiencies and stuff. Like, we're designed for northern climates. You want to stay around white people, whatever the hell that means. That's not a saving thing, by the way. But let's say you do. Let's say you like to be around white people. North. Let's say you love being around brown, short people. South. Oh, how dare you? I don't care. And if you can hold down the land, good for you. But nature's always trying to brown it up. You know, if you got a nice big plantation in Texas and you got enough firepower and people and community and you can hold it down with your morality, great. But, you know, as soon as you start like whacking off and not having kids, it's going to become brown with one generation. It's like one generation, and it's almost like the dikes in Holland. You know, the sea wants to own the Netherlands. The sea is always like, I'm going to get you. If you keep up with the red light district and one guy forgets to make the dike, if you keep looking at those dikes and not these dikes, I'm going to take you back. And that's a fact. If the Dutch lose the logos to be able to keep their dikes up, they're done. And it's like that moral decay, the lack. Dude, they were like walking on wooden shoes. Now they're just like doing blow with cookers and wearing masks. Guys, I mean, the sea's just going to take it back. And the sea of brown people in the South, you know, I'm not talking about like the Carolinas and shit. That can still be Caucasian. They have a winter. I'm talking about like South, like desert. All right, anyway, that's just my opinion. Could I be wrong? Sure. Amsterdam versus New Orleans, yeah. Dikes or dikes, exactly. You want those dikes or those dikes? Focus on those dikes, not those dikes. But Big Bear, they drive a Subaru and they arouse my penis. Well, do you know how to swim? All right, I thought we were talking about the lesbos for a second. We were talking about both. If one doesn't laugh or isn't edified or becomes thoughtful over what you have to contribute, then shut the fuck. Yeah, but don't get mad at them either. I'm talking about the gammas and the psychopaths and all that to help spot the behavior and to not fall into that anger trap. If you get mad at them and you're like, don't talk about Owen that way, you suck, they win again. They really do. Because like the Secret King, when they say, when you give them a wedgie and put them on a hook and they say, joke's on you, this makes me come, they're right. Like, it really is joke's on you. If you get mad at the Gamma, the Secret King, a lot of the Jews are like this. It is what it is. The Grabblers, they win. If you want to hurt them and get rid of them and put them on a boat and send them, they win. They're like, great. Any reaction is what they want. So, Big Bear, so why are you reacting? I'm educating. I'm educating people into how to deal with the coyote. This is a revelation, guys. They want you to hate them. And that's so counterintuitive to most people because most people don't understand the upside down that are living in the right side up. A lot of us in the right side up will be like, well, no one wants to be hated. So if I hate them, they'll change. No. It's like, if you give them a wedgie and put them on a hook, they really will be like, this makes me come. The joke's on you. And it's like, oh, the Secret King wins again. He did. Because any attention is what they want. Good or bad. They don't care. In physics or math, it's called the absolute value. It's the distance from zero. It's two lines going like -8 is 8. Oh, no, it's -8. No, it's amplitude of sine wave. So like a sine wave goes like this, whether you're 8 positive or 8 negative, it's still 8 because it's the amplitude of energy. A psychopathic narcissist, you can like write them 50-page things about why they're the bad man and they love it. They're like, yes, I matter. That's all it is. I matter. And so I don't want you guys to fight my battles with the psychopaths because that only encourages their behavior. Like if they're like, oh, and the devil, and you're like, no, he has a bunch of kids. He's helped all these people. It's like, they're like, yeah. Look at me. The algorithms are psychopathic. It's like any click is a click. However, Lil Nas X is a psychopath. Whatever gets you to click, they want. It doesn't matter if it's like, look, pedophilia is now legal. It's like, oh, fuck, you got to be kidding me. Right. It's like, that's all they want. I bet Lil Nas X isn't even gay. Oh, here's some super chats, and I'll continue. Morning, Big Bear. Oh, thank you, by the way. That was very generous. Got a name for the first airship that will be traveling the lands of Bertaria. Bear Force One. Indeed. I've already thought that's a great one. Hope you and all the bears have a nice start to the week. Castles and airships onward. Thank you. And that's very generous. You don't need to we're doing fine. You don't need to give me, I want you guys to save up too. You guys are so generous that sometimes I'm like, you can also put it towards your own shit, If I need it, I'll tell you. Not need it, but if I'm in dire straits, I'll let you know. I'm doing really well. Not like rich or anything, but the fact that we can build a house and the fact that we can build all these cabins in Ursa Rio and everything, it's like, we got over a real hump when it came to financing stuff. When we do specific stuff to like finance future projects, I'll let you know. But, I'm very honored. I was looking at some of the numbers recently and I'm like, man, we're doing fucking awesome. Because it's easy when you're me to continuously feel like you're being oppressed. And because I'm kicked off everything like Tea Time and YouTube, but our reaction has been so fruitful to not complain and to do unauthorized and to do all these other alt startups that it's like we keep growing. And so, support what you like, definitely. If you find that this has value, definitely tip the piano man or whatever, but like within reason. You don't have to go crazy with it. I'm a trucker. Today I took 10-ton load of good plywood to the landfill from a customer. I was able to have them save it before it was destroyed. By the way, Kebby Bearify is Kentucky Bear. Thanks, BB. Welcome, Kentucky Bear, and that's really smart. Like, you probably just made a lot of free cash. You're doing so well, I'm prospering. Yeah, don't get me wrong. My advice has led to a lot of prosperity, and if you want to share it with the bear, go for it. But I was just letting you guys know that, like, it isn't, like, pedal to the metal times of, like, you gotta send me money or we're going down. There was a time where that was true. And that time has passed. If you throw away good lumber, you're an insane person. Yeah, totally. All right, anyway. And all the while, I've thanked God for your outreach and introducing Vox to the Bears. Yeah, Vox is a very valuable guy. One other major milestone on the horizon is to move. Luckily, being in tech, land an eligible bachelor with a dog, all I currently need is internet and a laptop to serve others. It's amazing. Yeah, it's a wonderful time to be alive. This summer, my plan is to visit properties in a few states, including Idaho. It'd be great to meet you and shake your hand. Yeah, we'll have Ursa Rio hangouts. But for the sake of sec ops, that's not your vibe. It'd be great to contribute mind and body in building Ursa Rio. What do you say? Your brother in Christ, onward, Arcanist Bear. Welcome, Arcanist Bear. Yeah, wonderful. The support's been unreal. Will Barry and Larry be allowed to renew their vows at Ursa Rio? No. Not even close. Barry and Larry are not allowed anywhere near the state of Idaho for many reasons. They've broken every single possible social norm. They're an abomination. Anyway, I am guest hosting, though. Tea Time with Barry and Larry. Gary and Terry, I believe, faked their own deaths off the coast of Ibiza. For those of you that are psychopathic narcissists, this is funny what I'm doing right now. I'm not being serious. I'm not trying to spread a rumor that two guys actually faked their death off the coast of Ibiza. It brings a lot of joy and laughter to my audience. Dear Owen, my name is Chris. I'm a 39-year-old father of 2 boys with 1 more on the way. God willing, I am a 3rd-generation arborist with 23 years of field experience. Excellent. All right, BB, did you play the theme tune yet? I did, yeah. I've been listening to you for a little over a year. In that time, I've reconnected to God, quit my job in the city of Seattle after refusing to wear the mask, started growing a good portion of my food my family eats, and have decided to grow my family. Amazing. By God's will, you have been a huge motivation in these improvements in my life. I hope God continues to bless you and I. If you ever need any tree advice, please let me know. Thank you. Arbor Bear. Welcome, Arbor Bear. My brother's an arborist as well. I have a real soft heart for the arbor guys. It's a very dangerous, very necessary, and very useful job. You will never run out of work, ever. Well done, Arbor Bear. Arborist Bear. Oh, and Benjamin. There has to be a breaking point to this, like, increasing psychosis that's happening in the world. Because it just can't keep going this way. I think it will, though, for a while. So don't, like, you know, so make some good plans. Oh, that was very generous. Thank you. Man, you guys are awesome. It all goes to good places, so. But don't feel like I'm in, like, a desperate place, because I don't. We still have a long way. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. All right, let's start reading some of these. Yeah. Just watched episode 1132. First 33 seconds of silence for Gary and Terry. Their spirit is bar none compared to most tea sippers. Being very progressive and letting someone like you to host their YouTube channel. Looking back, I think they were financially obligated. I don't want to talk about it, but I have some people that twisted their arm financially, if you know what I'm saying. There's been blackmail. Speaking of spirits, I just love that we've made Gary and Terry such degenerates. They're like such horrible people now. All right. I was reminded of one hymn in particular where the Holy Spirit is worshiped, if sung equally with God and Jesus. I included the hymn in this letter. I sang this hymn many times in the past, but I just started to once again. Nice. Good for you. This is pretty long, but that's awesome. Trunian Bear. P.S. I did elect to come up to Ursa Rio to help if you have dates. Awesome. Yeah. Appreciate you. Sweet. Dear Owen, I've meant to write you for some time, but I always felt something hold me back from doing so. I found you 2 years ago through E. Michael Jones, and my first thought was, my God, Jones will talk to anyone. Hilarious. He really will, too. You were brash, laughing, bearded fellow, and I was used to the civil, intellectual, and smooth-faced oratory that predominated the YouTube community I was accustomed to consuming at the time. Yeah, it's one reason I've always really liked Jones is he goes to the whores like me. You know, he goes to the whores and the tax collectors. He does it. You know, he goes to Iran. He'll go wherever people want to hear him. He talks to the white guys, as he calls them, the ones that think their beautiful white skin will save their society. Ridiculous, obviously, but, oh, so you want black neighbors? No. But the whiteness doesn't save you in any way. Oh, according to Stéphane Meloni, the hierarchy, don't get me wrong, hiring a bunch of low IQ degenerates to do your plumbing will result in shit in your living room. That being said, I'm from a 100% white town that was like a disaster. It's morality, guys. It's morality. It's your internal world, your commitment to God, your lack of victim consciousness, that's what matters. I've seen EMJ speak with the Jays and respectfully disagreeing. Yeah, totally. He gets it. He's a really good guy, even if he thinks that I'm sometimes I think he thinks that I'm wrong on the Trinity, but he doesn't react negatively at all. Like, that's the craziest part is all these psychopathic gamma narcissist types are like, you're disgusting. And E. Michael Jones, one of the leading Catholic scholars, is like, like he doesn't care at all because he's not a narcissist. Your high IQ doesn't squirt out babies or make you moral. No, and the entire thing is, like, Stefan Molyneux had only one kid, so he lost. Oh, how dare you. I'm not saying you need to have a lot of kids. Your path is your path. But, like, if you're the type of person who thinks your race saves something, why not have 10 kids? Why? Oh, I started late. Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, dude. Well, whatever. You know? It's like so many of these black pilling type of like race guys, these white guys, they don't have any kids. All the quote unquote white guys that have like 10 kids, I'll listen to. They're like, the white race will save us. I'm like, that's a coherent statement based on someone with 10 children. That was obvious when he kept the line on abortion. Did he say abortion's okay? I think Steph would agree with BB on the morality thing. Well, he's an atheist who believes in Bitcoin and banking, so I don't think so. But that's okay. We're still glad to have him at unauthorized. He's a thinker. But, just white skin without... I mean, how do you get more white skin? Children! What people don't have a lot of children? Selfish narcissists who focus on their own books all the time and not having kids. I was saying EMJ serves a higher purpose. Yeah, he does. EMJ is a very moral guy. Even though he's... but see, he's too... In my opinion, this is just, just my opinion. I think EMJ is a little too far the other way when it comes to race. Where he's like, anywhere the Catholic Church goes, crushes. I'm like, so how's Zimbabwe doing? He's like, it takes a few thousand years. So the Catholic Church goes into Germany and takes them from like chasing pigs in the Black Forest to like these like unbelievable engineers because of the logos of the Catholic Church. And then they go to Africa and they don't get any of that. It's like, wow, it's because of the Jews. I'm like, so there weren't Jews near Germany? It's like, well, I mean, that's when you got to understand that Molyneux there is something to be said for like certain tribes being more capable of like complex systems. You can say whatever you want. It's just, it's observable in my opinion. And those people don't get me wrong. They can live better. There's some African tribes that I think live infinitely better lives, more godly lives than like Berlin, Germany. Like just a bunch of butt boys cucking to like anybody with a boot. It's like, dude, I don't care if you build giant cathedrals. You're gay. That's exactly what EMJ says. Africa's 1,000 years behind in Christianity, according to him. It's immediate. It's not like, it takes 1,000 years. It takes, what would that be? 50 generations? 50 generations to learn how to build a building? Really? Bushmen are based. I'm not even saying building cathedrals is like the move. A lot of that way of life is great. Like, dude, part of me would love to live that way. Where you're like real connected to nature, real connected to God. Lies get you killed. Crushing. But it's like, they're not going to be good at like being in charge of a nuclear reactor. Guns, Germs, and Steel is nonsense. I had a publishing deal from the same publishing company that did Guns, Germs, and Steel. And let me tell you, they're not big fans of truth. That because of Guns, Germs, and Steel is the only reason Indonesian, like, mud hut people are not, like, taking over the world. Like, there's, like, an element of insanity to the Anglos and the Germanics for trying to take over the world and inflict their way of life on everybody. But don't think for a second that those hunter-gatherer types should be responsible for, like, the sewage system of a major city. It's just not what they do. There are probably a bunch of Africans who are probably really good at spirituality. Yeah, some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, and I'm not virtue signaling at all, are Africans. Like I knew one guy that did stand-up who was one of the Lost Boys or whatever, like one of those like child mercenary types that left and walked through a desert. You take all of Stefan Malini's white guys, and they're not making it through a desert. They're not making it through the hardship of like being captured as a child soldier, killing your captors, walking through like lion-infested fucking areas, and then getting to America to tell jokes. Like, no. Thinking all cultures and races are capable of the same thing is just silly. Yeah, I mean, they're capable, but statistically unlikely. Like, can you get an African bushman guy to understand the complex, plumbing system of a major city? Sure. Is it less likely than like a Swiss guy? Yeah, obviously. How dare you? These people will look at a 0.001% death rate of like corona and shut down the world. But like massive correlations in statistics, they're like, oh no, not that though. Okay. Even though I thought you might be retarded, my apologies, I was intrigued. Since I'd never heard anyone out of Hollywood speak so candidly about being against contraception, right, because they're all narcissistic, so whatever leads to them getting less money and attention, they won't do. That's why me being an empath got me out of Hollywood, because when I was saying these things, the reason you have 100% compliance in Hollywood is simply because they're all narcissists. I am starting to think there's less of like a cohesive plan amongst the quote unquote elite. I think they just all act the same. Like they all have similar goals and worldviews where they're like, well, of course we do this. That gets us more money or more power. It's like that in Hollywood. It's like if you're against abortion in Hollywood, you get less eyeballs and less money. And so when you're a narcissist, it's like what I just said about Bushman and Swiss, observably obvious. Abortion is clearly murder. Clearly. You have a living thing that you kill that's a human. Okay? Like these aren't, men and women clearly act different. There's a biological component. Like these are not hard. So why are all these people going along with what everyone sees as a lie? Because it gets them more money and attention. They don't care at all about what's true or false. That's why this is one of the greatest opportunities in the history of the world and maybe will ever be again. That's why this is such an honor to be alive right now. It's because like, while the world is being consumed by absolute nonsense, all you have to do is not that. And you'll be scared and they'll threaten you and you'll have shame and all that. And that's when Christianity is really like, you just don't care. You're like, well, I don't care about titles or money. I just want my family healthy and God to, feel pleased with my work. And it's like, no, but you'll never work again. It's like, no, I work every day for God. I till my field. I do it. It's like, ugh. And look at him now. Everyone to a man, I'm better than now in life. All the people like Bert Kreischer, Whitney Cummings, Joe Rogan, a lot of people I won't name that turned their back on me when they should have had my back. Every single one of them is depressed, on pills. Like they can't get their fix. They can't get their attention. Their narcissistic feeding has gone way down. Ironically, I have a bigger audience now. Not than Rogan or like, I know that there's a lot of eyeballs, but they're like dead eyes. Who the hell wants 100? What narcissist would, don't get me wrong, any eyeball is an eyeball. Any anus is pumpable for these retards. But like, blind CIA, what next? Deaf telephone bugging agents? Yeah, definitely. The chat on YouTube is on as well. He must be chaotic. I haven't looked at it. I don't care. If narcissists want to sit there and go, look at him, he's the bad man. Go ahead. I think that's hilarious. If you guys want to sit around and be like, look at him, everything he says is a lie. It's not. And I mean, am I wrong sometimes? Yes. Am I pretty close to accurate all the time? Yeah. Because it's obvious. It's like so obvious what, is like, is sitting in your parents' basement jerking off to pornos going to lead to a terrible life? Yes. Seething gammas are hilarious. Yeah, they are pretty funny. They get so hurt. All right. Rape counselors that are street walking prostitutes in their spare time. All right. Anyway. I'm one of 8 kids and find it hard to imagine not wanting kids, but the machine is effective at spinning the illusion that comfortable, sterile consumerism is somehow virtuous and desirable. You seem to see through this lie, so despite my first impression, I dove into the gravy and you quickly won my trust. The first stream I remember, you were mourning the loss of a friend who had suffered from PTSD and died of an overdose. I confidently say that your authenticity brand was then set in stone. Yeah, it's not a brand. I get what you're saying, though. It's funny. I immediately saw there was a noble warrior's heart under your rough, brash exterior, and that night I cried with you for your friend and many injustices of the Grab Wars war. I would like to thank you for your radical inability to be anyone other than yourself. Your raw honesty, curiosity, and natural way of life stand in direct contrast to the fabricated world of antiseptic newsrooms where cosmetically perfect newscasters are the puppets of Grab War propagandists. Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way of describing it. That's why the revelations will never be televised, because the bank owns the media. Like, don't get mad at the Jews or, like, feel oppressed or anything like that, but just don't expect something that isn't real. The news will never be like, well, the central bank is having an internal problem right now. You know, all these like really weird family feuds are ending up real dark. I'd buy some land, right? They're just going to be like, looking at India, COVID-19 is ravaging. Yeah, what about Monsanto and 400,000 fucking farmers killed themselves in the last 5 years? And why don't you report on that? See, you ask these questions and then you realize, because why would they report on that? That doesn't serve their agenda. Then you stop watching the news and you no longer care what they say. And that's the only way. Getting mad at the media or the banks, they like it. They want you to be like, how dare the media lie again? Good. Like, they want that. They're like, yeah, keep watching me. Get mad. Tell everybody how crazy I am. See, I'm not a narcissistic psychopath, so I don't like the Gammas hating me because I don't like that type of attention. That being said, it's fine. They're not going away, so whatever. But it's like those people like the media likes that. They like that we call it the media. Bertaria Times is the media. We call them the media. That's like calling someone else the father. Oh, I don't know. Like the Pope. It's like saying I hate the father. You're still calling him the father. The Pope. El Popa. The father. You can be like, oh, this is a bad daddy. You're like, well, why are you calling him the father then? They love that they're called the elites. Exactly. That's why I call them the grabblers. To grabble is to rub your hands in dirt looking for potatoes. That's what grabbler means. It's an actual verb, to grabble. The legacy media, legacy means obsolete. No, it doesn't. To leave a legacy, it's still a term of endearment. It's still power. To say someone, the legacy media. Come up with a new name. I challenge you guys that. For the media. Call them something else. The lie machine. But you're still thinking about them. All right. I'll remember for a long time the rambling green backdrop of your Washington homestead with your kids playing, your animals grazing, and your wife tending the garden. Seeing your homestead was like looking through a window into a life that I've dreamed of living. A life that becomes all the more possible and real with the inspiration you and the community of bears provide. By your witness, I'm no longer driven by hatred for that deceptive world of the Grabler screen. Ooh, the Grabler screen is a good one for the media. Have you been looking at the Grabler screen? That's a good one. And view it more as Tolkien's Gollum. Exactly. Being fueled by the hatred of Gollum is still Gollum. Misinformation industrial complex. Yeah, but it's still... Dude, the Grabler screen is pretty funny because it just make it silly. A shambling husk of what was once a hobbit that can now only lust after the Ring of Power. Yeah, exactly. And they're all empty. That's why the narcissist ends up empty. Self-worship ends up your hollowed out puppet. Everyone in Hollywood has the same opinion on everything. How is that possible? That was the big tweet that was heard around the world that I did. What, 80,000 retweets? Where I put that picture of everybody in late night comedy all in one picture. It's a black and white picture. They're all sipping on martinis. And I said, same opinion on everything, same choice in president, ladies and gentlemen, quote unquote, comedy. You couldn't fight it. That's why they kicked me off Twitter. Because the more they tried to fight it, like, oh, how dare you? It's just because I'm like, it's not statistically possible to have the same opinion on absolutely everything and call yourselves comedians. If you're supposed to be poking, prodding, flipping, slaughtering sacred cows, going after stuff, how is everyone agreeing on all these subjective things? It's not possible. If half the country is voting for one guy and like these guys all agree that it isn't that, and they're supposed to represent their country and making them laugh, like you're looking at a lie. And it was so naked. That's how the judo flip works when you go, bang. That picture in my tweet showed the entire world. Guys, that was seen by, 100 million people? 80,000 retweets is insane, especially by some big-ass accounts. And people were looking at that like, whoa. And I'm like, right? I wasn't like, look at them, they should all go to Gitmo. Secret tribunals, Hillary in the sewer. Fuck that. That's feeding them because then you look crazy and then they can go, look, they're crazy. Just say, so this is comedy? You guys all agree on everything. And they were clearly this high class photo. They're all wearing black suits. They all dress the same. They're all drinking the same. And they all were like in this cushy little existence with a white, everything that they tried to use in their favor, like to look so opulent, to look so, high and mighty, was actually used against them. Because it went from being these special people to being a club that won't let you in. And they were all white. Even the black guys looked white. And so my tweet couldn't have even been called racist. Because I'm like, look, there's the white boys club right there. Oh, how dare you? What's wrong with white boys? I'm not attacking you. Relax. But I'm like, look at that. That's your liberal media. It's all the same color person. They're all wearing the same suit. They all believe the same thing about every single divisive belief there is. You're telling me not one of those guys thinks that maybe abortion's wrong? They don't exist. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't exist. He can't think for himself. He can't do a joke on his own. These people don't exist. They're empty shells. They're puppets. They're golems. Let me read this and then I'll finish these. Had a realization that the best way to deal with the liberals and fearful is just to treat them how I'd want to be treated. When the dust clears and their destructive paths bring them to a breaking point, they cannot deny those who lived with truth. Show them what real love looks like. I completely agree, Pickle Bear, but you're going to see a lot of golems. I like that he talked about Gollum because, like, Gollum, you're now living in a cave obsessed with a ring and everyone hates you. He's like, have you seen the ring? There's no waking them up. Like, while they're losing everything and their kids are wearing masks and gay and trans and there's no legacy, as someone just said. Their job sucks. They work 100 hours a week. They're going, okay, they still won't see it. Gollum is the perfect example because but you use the Gollum, the Shabazz of the system, the Shabazz Goy of the system itself, not us, them. Gollum destroyed the ring with his desire for the ring. Like his evil did the greatest good in that entire series. Like Gollum was the only thing that would sacrifice himself for his precious. And we'll see that with the system, 100%. You'll see that they are so obsessed with money, power, control, anuses, that like they will do it to their own destruction. Just like Gollum was the vehicle to destroy Gollum. I'm as far north as I can handle in Missouri. It all makes sense except the Eskimo nose. Time to break the Eskimo nose spell. I don't care about the Eskimo noses. They might exist just as a joke. Yeah, Frodo lost his will to fight in the end. Right. Because only the evil could actually do it. It's fascinating. You see it every day. Snake eating itself. Exactly. The only thing that could really kill the snake is its own appetite to eat itself. Watch. The central bank can't own everything and still exist. It's a fundamental paradox. Which brings me to my final word. You taught me so much about work ethic and how to best maneuver through the professional world. Learning from you and Vox, the social sexual hierarchy, helped me understand what it is to be a man and how to engage a work environment. Everyone needs deltas, and a gamma has no utility whatsoever. Now, they know a lot about Star Trek. Like, let's say for some reason you want to know, like, something about Star Trek. You need gammas. Or trivia around Star Wars, or rape tests. Like, let's say you want to make sure that your company, it's really hard to rape a girl. Release the gammas, see if anybody gets raped, and if not, then you just take out the gammas. Take them out back, just, you know. The central bank eventually becomes a snake having nothing to devour but its own tail. That's what it is right now. Guys, stay in the real economy and you'll be fine. The real economy's crashing. There's no price indexes, yada, yada, yada. The fake Bitcoin stock market's going crazy. Let them have it. Like, stay real. Stay with, like, pipes, construction, gardening, farming, arborists, keeping the electricity and the, like, that shit is necessary for all the fake shit. The entire pyramid is based on a real economy that is crumbling. If you stay in that real economy, you could become the billionaire, quote unquote, of the future. Copper is up 142% in 12 months. Oh, how dare you agree? Copper's up more than fucking Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm not going to make the claim. But it's also, you're still measuring it in money, and that money isn't going anywhere. The major asset of the United States is its military. The United States is the mercenaries of the central bank. Every time they want to collect an asset, they get the United States military to go kill a bunch of Muslims. So, or, you know, Japs or Krauts or whatever it is at the day. And then later, 10 years later, you got to pretend that the word is offensive, not the murders. Right? When you say Muzzy, they go, oh, how dare you? Or like Krauts or like Japs or something. And then they go, well, 10 years ago, you made me hate them, so I'd kill them for you. It's like, yeah, but now the word is the evil. They Horcrux the word. They go, no. Firebombing Tokyo for 5 years, that's not bad. What's bad is the abbreviation of Japanese to Jap. If you say Jap, you're the murderer, not the murderers. You understand how stupid it is? It's an obvious trick. If you don't wear a mask, you're the reason old fat people die. No, I'm not, though. How double dog dare you? That's all they got. Oh, so the Japs, how dare you say Jap? Didn't our country murder like millions of them for you guys? Yeah, definitely. Pearl Harbor. And you go, so because a small group allegedly might have attacked a military ship, we got to kill like 1 million kids in their country? Yeah, as long as you don't say Jap, it's fine. Call them Japanese. Well, isn't the name of their country actually Nepal or some shit? It's like Nepal. It's not even Japan. We're bear in mind, we're abbreviating a word that doesn't even exist in their language. It's like Deutschland for Germany. Germany was a spell that coincided with germ theory lie. Nippon. Yeah, it's Nippon, the Nipponi. That's why you call them Nips. If it wasn't for the Nips being so good at building ships, the yards would still be open on the Clyde. And it can't be much fun for them beneath the rising sun with all their kids committing suicide. What have we done? Maggie, what have we done? Well, Pink Floyd for you. If it wasn't for the Nips, Nippon. And then if you call them slopes or squints, you go, oh no, how dare you? How come no one says how dare you when you kill all their kids? Because it's not bad if you don't call them nips. Nips is what is offensive. So all the blacks in America that you get hooked on like government money and crack, that's fine. But you just can't call them a certain word. Yeah. That word is death for them. Not death. No, death isn't death. A word is. Guys, it's Horcruxing. They show it to you in Harry Potter. You take evil and you put it in a symbol and you go, no, just that. Okay. Oh, what? That's crazy. I'm pretty sure a slant would rather have you not kill him than call him a slant. All right, which is worse? Let's not kill these slants or kill the Japanese. I'm trying to work people through this slowly so they understand why I've been so aggressively against political correctness. Because it's the way to hide the worst horror in the entire world. Don't call it a baby, call it a fetus. That way you're not aborting your baby. It's just a fetus to feed us. Feed us. What? How dare you? You're seeing things. No, it's called Twilight language. An unborn feed us. How dare you? Oh, yeah. You're murdering babies, all right. Oh, no. You're the bad man, not me. We'll see. We'll see when the dust clears who's on top. You can't let your ego separate you from satisfaction of a job well done, no matter how much correction it took to get there. Your own courageous example in trying things you may know little to nothing has inspired me to crush in the ways of the Delta. I've worked landscaping part-time the past 2 years while holding a clerical job that drained the life out of me. I enjoy the landscape work, but I didn't think I could make a career out of it, since neither of my employers seem interested in growing their business or training me up to be more than a laborer. Regardless, I threw myself into the work until I got comfortable being uncomfortable and not knowing exactly what I was doing. I showed up, worked hard, and began to learn a thing or two, even though I didn't know if there was a point to all my labors. I thought I might just be a useful cog to my boomer employers who would coast on my work into retirement. That all changed in the past few months. I can tell this is where this is going. This is such a good story. There's been a recent landscape boom in my area, and work has begun to pick up considerably. One day in early March, my boss turned to me in the middle of a job and asked me if I wanted to do this full time. It's like my eyes were open. I gave an enthusiastic yes, and things have taken off since then. I'm now in a position to grow a thriving business that I could eventually own, and I don't know if any of this would have been possible without your influence. So with a full heart, I thank you and thank God for all the blessings that have come my way. I realize in writing you why I felt held back all the time was writing you or joining in the bear community. I was holding myself back from the crush, having been sitting on the fence in so many aspects of my life, waiting for things to work themselves out. Oh yeah, you're rewarded for showing up. Whether you're cutting grass or making fun of the Pope. It's like, just do it, you know? And I'm not talking no impulse control, destructive bullshit. I'm talking about like, fucking serve people. Do what needs to be done. And don't worry like, oh, how am I supposed to make money on $15 an hour? How am I supposed to have a family? Dude, if you do your job good enough, you won't stay there. You know, growing up, young people always had jobs in fast food or paper boy or anything. You apprentice for nothing. You're not going to stay there. You get a skill, and then that skill is handsomely rewarded. I know landscapers that make a fuck ton of money. Not like grabbler money, but like enough to have a giant family. That's why a lot of these Mexicans have so many kids, because they're actually making money in a real economy. It's like you actually, guys, you can make real money landscaping. Let's say, you know, $200 to do a lot of land, to a yard. You can do 4 in a day. Do the fucking math. And then that's unskilled. Imagine if you can work for like really rich people and and prune their trees, you know, do all the fabric and all that. There's no end to it. And then you get into the architecture of it. You put that beautiful white skin to work, right? If the whites really are so fucking smart, why are so many of them not trying to use their intellect to get out of their hell? A lot of whites are not smart. A lot of whites are not moral. And they're sitting there blaming brown people that are actually working for all their problems. They're going, well, if it wasn't for the Jew, I'd be rich. No. Right now, there's more opportunity than I've ever seen in my entire life and will probably ever see again. So many people are in a world of complete nonsense. People that you would be competing against. People that are like, literally like, give me a vax, give me a mask. Oh, I can't leave my house. Okay, so the most valuable skill right now is just being able to leave your house without a fucking diaper on your face. Can you do that? Okay, now think, how can I serve my community? Don't think about yourself. Don't think about the Jews. Think like, how can I serve my kids? Raw organic milk. Look at my life. Look at every step of the way. Why do I keep getting tricked by psychopaths? I have high empathy. How do I work on that? So I work on that, right? They're frying the milk. Who's they? I don't know, but they're making us sick and diseased and we have no nutrition. So what do? We get 2 goats. Now we have 30 goats. We get cows. Oh, it might be nice. And now it's cheaper. Now our milk is way cheaper than the poison in the grocery store. And if you don't understand, if you can't see a way through, if you need me to like meticulous, well, how do I get a cow? You're not that smart then. You're not the beautiful white race you think you are. That's what made quote unquote white people an advantage is getting through winter, getting through horror. If you can't get through the Fed buying shit, what the fuck kind of white person are you? You know? And you can't sit back and go, we made the cathedrals. You didn't make anything. White doesn't mean smart. You know, the highest part of the IQ bell curve is Chinese and Northern European. But it doesn't, if you can't get out your ass out of bed, what the fuck does it matter? It's true. I mean, it's just true. It's just, I'm giving so many pep talks today. I'm so fired up by my cleanse still. I'm still full vegan. I'm doing full vegan for a full month. And I'm crushing. 95% of my white Oakland neighbors are 100% retarded. Yeah. No, they're cucks. They're the walking dead. And if you think white skin will save you in these times, you're out of your fucking minds. You haven't looked around. Oh, white genocide. No. It's people not having kids. Dude, my kids, where's the Jew trying to take these away from me? Look at this. My kids are learning how to work. They're growing up with like a morality and ethic of work. The getting your hands dirty. And in North Idaho, it's like all the employees are all white. You know, you get a couple that aren't, but they're cool as fuck. They got families and everything. But it's like people show up and they work hard and they're doing great because they're the electricians, they're the plumbers, they're the truck drivers. You go to these cities and the white people are not working. They're in fake realities. They're like, oh no, I do marketing for Hulu. What? I'm a marketer for Hulu. I analyze multi-platform use on a variety of platforms. I'm single-handedly bringing Hulu to a multi-platform use. Okay, what does that mean? All those people's entire existence, and guys, the tippy top are a certain tribe that have no skills at all. You think they can cut down a tree? And if anybody doesn't see that this house of cards is falling down, they got to read their Bibles. All right. Yeah, everybody's in their mom's basement with their hands in their pants. All right. I hope this is the first of many letters. I've joined the Bertaria Times app where I somehow ended up with the profile name jpark9123, which I suppose I'll be changing. Anyway, keep up the crush and God bless you, Owen. Sincerely, Parker Bear. Wonderful letter. Thank you, Parker Bear. Great. Got me so fired up. That's one reason why I like yell a lot in these streams, because I get so inspired. Like, these fucking letters inspire me. All right. There we go. I'll read, let's see. What is this? Say very wrong. What do we got? Greetings, Owen of House Bear. St. George Bear here, writing from Iceland. I bumped into Gary and Terry for a brief moment on Flatty Island. It seemed the glory of the Lord shone upon them, but it turned out to be glitter left over from the night before. Oh, that's hilarious. He thought that there was the light of the Lord was on Gary and Terry, but it was really just gay guy glitter. Oh, how dare you make? I think the whole how dare you make fun of the gays happened when they took out 80,000 of them with AZT. I think you no longer can make fun of them because so many of them got slaughtered. I shouldn't have been smiling when I said that. A lot of good men went down with that ship. Let's just say Fauci's been at it a while. AZT is a fascinating... It's the same playbook. They convinced all these gays that their unhealth was because of invisible virus floating through the air and it wasn't their horrible lifestyle. So then they got them to take all this poison called AZT and then they could kill them. But they made up for it, though, by making a giant quilt. Remember the AIDS quilt? But in reality, AIDS is a great weight loss program. Hang on, check this out. I mean, this couldn't line up better. Where the hell is it? There we go.
The AIDS diet plan helped me lose 28 pounds.
AIDS helps control your appetite so you lose weight. Yet AIDS lets you taste, chew, and enjoy. And the appetite suppressant in AIDS is not a stimulant.
AIDS helped me to lose 18 pounds, and it doesn't contain anything to make me nervous.
Question: why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS? AIDS helps you lose weight without making you jittery.
Yeah, Magic Johnson is a champ. He just simply didn't take AZT, and everybody wondered what the cure was. They're like, why is everyone else dying? It's like, what did Magic do different? They're like, oh, he didn't take AZT. It's like, huh. And he's still alive? Yeah, he's like a billionaire now. Why? Because when you don't fall for wizard spells, you become a billionaire. Fauci's an OG. Lucifer is so proud of him. Yeah, but Lucifer isn't proud of anybody. The devil keeps wondering why all his followers are such losers. But yeah, Fauci is a genius wizard, though. It's crazy what they got the gays to do. Because, I mean, you just take groups of people that are so filled with guilt and shame, and then you say it's not you, it's an invisible bug. And they go, so it hasn't? But in the fact I've been up for 5 straight days popping amyl nitrates, just pounding like 10 guys a day, that isn't the problem? They're like, no. Your failing health has nothing to do with your horrible lifestyle. So you mean doing methamphetamines off like a random grabber's dick in a bathhouse, that isn't the problem? They're like, no, that's not the problem. The problem is someone fucked a monkey in Africa. You want to figure out a spell? They always have an animal in a really exotic place. This is how empaths can see the future, by the way. It's patterns. You remember. You're not obsessed with yourself. I'm oddly not obsessed with myself. China, bat. Africa, monkey. You see it? They go, oh no, someone ate a bat in China, and that's why these old fat people are dying. Heh. It's definitely not their lifestyle. No, definitely not. So why don't any kids get COVID-19? Ah, fuck you. Kick them off the internet. Okay. So with AIDS, it was someone fucked a monkey in Africa. They traced AIDS all the way back to Africa with a monkey. Why Africa? Because no one goes to Africa. You don't see it. If someone said someone fucked a monkey in Philadelphia, people would be like, where's the monkey? They'd be like, there isn't a monkey. In Africa, do you know how hard it would be to fuck a monkey? Guys, a monkey can rip your face and genitals off, like a small chimpanzee. To rape a monkey is literally impossible. A monkey is not going to let you fuck it. So people are like, oh, someone fucked a monkey, and that's how they got AIDS. How? Most people couldn't fuck a tortoise. Allegedly eating monkey flesh. Oh, was it eating? No, it was fucking a monkey. I lived through the 80s, guys. They said someone had sex with a monkey. The monkey did the raping. Monkeys don't rape humans. I got an uncle that's killed a decent amount of monkeys in Africa. And because if they start pissing on your tent, you got to take them out with shotgun. Because if they piss on you and you don't do anything about it, they'll rip off your genitals and face. But they don't fuck you. A monkey never penetrates people. Master level spellbreaker giant. Yeah. I mean, it's just obvious. It's like, okay, what is AIDS? Well, someone fucked a monkey or ate a monkey in the jungles of Africa. How do we know that? We can't possibly. Just like Antarctica, space, Tel Aviv. The monkey doing the raping is more, but the monkey does not rape. And so even if the monkey raped, what, did he come inside the guy? It just doesn't make any sense. So a guy was naked running around the jungle, like being like, monkey, I've had too much to drink. A human being could never hold down a monkey and fuck the monkey. It's not possible. And then even if they did, so then that guy got... Someone capable of holding down a monkey and fucking them is not then like having a weekend getaway with like a flight attendant gay. Like those guys are not then fucking people. Like that would be a crazy guy. All right. It's such a dumb story that people now looking back realize how stupid AIDS is. And that just disappeared. Where'd AIDS go? I don't know. Well, people just don't get it. Mutated. Okay, mutated. So people stopped taking AZT. I don't know. Fear is the virus. Whatever. So where's the COVID-19? What happened to it? Oh, it's fucking mutated, man. Does mutated mean you gave up all your small businesses again? I guess. I don't know. Toronto Joubert. Names for media. The dirty glass. The stained glass. The inflated tire. The stupid machine. I like the stupid machine. That's good. The unholy ghost and the jab media. Those are all great. Have you guys been watching the stupid machine today? Well, they used to call it the boob tube. And then people just stopped doing that. Everybody always knew it was stupid. Hey, Big Bear, just wanted to properly say thank you for all you do. I had a blast at the wedding, and it was an honor to be there. I wanted to chat with you more, but I can get a little introverted in large gatherings and didn't want to barge in and interrupt you and be that guy. If your doc crew could use me, let me know. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely have you in there. Yeah, and I'm glad you came. That was awesome. Boob tube sounds like Boomer. Boomer Vision. Have you been watching Boomer Vision today? What's that? CNN? It's how boomers see the world. All right. Where'd the flu and cold season go? Oh, I know. It's hilarious. And they're not to be they're not to be afraid. You're not supposed to be afraid of the flu. The fear of the flu is what's going to... Dude, something's in the vax. I don't want to make any claims. Could it be... If you look at the AIDS reaction with AZT, like, they got a bunch of people scared to run to get treatment that killed them. Past behavior is the best evidence to future behavior. So it's like... People got really scared for their terrible... That's why when the mask went on, the mask came off. Like, everybody revealed what they were on the inside. Are they wearing a mask just to get by in an airplane? Or is it like they're scared and they want to cover their face and then they can't wait to get the vax? There's something in there, dude. There's something in there. I mean, I know that it's not healthy, but it could be real bad. Do you guys know how many gays died in the 80s from AZT? I think like 80,000 in America. It was like half the gays died. And the average person now is as deviant, if not more deviant, than an 80s gay. Like with the amount of porn consumption and all the lying and greed and envy and everything that's going on in the world. I mean, the 80s gay was like a good guy compared to most of the online gammas. You know, the 80s gay guy at least would like help you change a flat tire and like knew his community. He wasn't like actively trying to take down attempts to better their country. Like the average 80s gay would go be a butt boy like 2 days a week and, you know, really self-destructive, but they were better people than the average person right now taking the vax. 80s gays were like, you know, they were still like guys. They were still like, they could change a flat. They'd pick you up at the airport. Like they were kind of accountable. They could, you know, they had beards and mustaches. African had completely different symptoms. Yeah, in Africa, AIDS just gives you diarrhea when you're a minor in their minds. It's weird how when it went over the Atlantic, it no longer was a gay disease. Guys, okay. You want me to break down AIDS? So it's about eugenics on a spiritual level. So in America, it was all the gays died. And then they went to Africa with it, and it was all the people taking that they were trying to kill in Africa with like vaccines and all that, allegedly. So it started killing all the women, especially pregnant women. In America, AIDS didn't kill any women. You know, all of Eazy-E's hoes, like he had like 5 main hoes. None of them got AIDS. And so they go to Africa, and so then what was the narrative? They said, oh, it's because it's anal in Africa. That the Africans are so stupid. That's why they need the racism stuff. Not like racism, the fake shit, but like, oh, Africans they're all monkeys. That's not true. There's a lot of awesome Africans. Because they're like, oh, they just fuck each other in the ass. That's why everyone gets AIDS there. All the women get AIDS. Really? Or, so why does AIDS have all different symptoms in Africa? Why was it resembling dysentery? Why was it almost like they had their water supply poisoned? They were getting heavy metal injections. Oh, I don't know. Well, we got to send AZT to Africa. It's like, really? All the African gays must have banged the pregnant woman. I know, it's nonsense. Well, you know them. They're such monkeys that they just all fuck in the ass. No, dude. That's not what happened. AIDS was a targeted weapon. Yeah, only Jenny died in Forrest Gump. She was the only woman in the history of AIDS to die of AIDS. All right. They need Africa to be dumb and dirty, AIDS, Ebola, etc. Right, exactly. And they need Chinese wet markets. But the problem with China is they're getting too smart and rich. So you can't just keep saying, oh, well, in China, the Black Death. Black Plague is total bullshit. It follows the pattern of nonsense. You got the fleas, the rats from China. Really? So the rats from China with their fleas came all around the Horn of Africa and then just killed all the Europeans. So the guys driving the ships never got the Black Death? Oh, no, they got it, but just after. Dude, that takes months to go around the Horn of Africa. So you have the infected rats on the ships, but the captains and the people on the ships didn't get the Black Death. Oh, no, they got it. Then how'd they fucking sail the ships? Oh, no, the rats were hiding until they left the ships. One thing I know about rats on ships is they're not very modest. So you're telling me the fleas on the rats on the ships laid low when they have no like resources for months on end in the sea. Oh no, they're eating the potatoes in the bags. Okay, so whenever the people went in to get the potatoes out of the bags, the rats and the fleas hid from the people, like they didn't jump onto the people. What are you trying to get at, Big Bear? The fucking ships would just drift away because everyone on it would be dead. They'd be called ghost ships. So what are you trying to say? Of course the Black Death is stupid. It's stupid. Humans have this crazy ability, and it's not the elites or the fucking Jews or any of this. It's like people want to not have any responsibility for their behavior. So they'll seek a savior in a snake oil salesman. It's called snake oil salesman. The snake in the garden. It's metaphysical, right? So it's like, oh, it's not because I'm gay that I feel really gross every day and ashamed. It's AIDS. So how do you fix it? Out comes this tap dancing salesman. Well, you, sir, need AZT, but we're going to make it so it's expensive and it's super. AZT was so poisonous they couldn't give it to cancer patients. Who was it that had AZT? His name was Dr. Fauci. Same motherfucker. And by the way, psychopaths, narcissists, gammas, me ranting right now, I'm not mad. I'm doing comedy and ladling gravy simultaneously. It's how I keep people engaged for 2 hours straight with just me talking. When I leave this live stream, I do not talk to my wife this way. I do not talk to my children this way. I don't talk to my neighbors this way. I don't go into the post office and say, where's my letters? Did you know nuclear bombs aren't real? This is what I do for a job. This is what, it's like saying a fucking NFL linebacker is violent in person. Just to let you guys know that this tone I'm doing is entertaining for the people listening. When the stream ends, I do not live my life like this. Everybody that's ever met me in person knows this isn't how I act all the time. BB talking to Amy like this all day would be a funny skit. Yeah, I'm quiet. I'm a quiet guy. I'm alone a lot. I'm respectful. Dude, it's like the post office. They'll say, hey, Owen. I'm like, oh, hey. You know, I'll sometimes bring them like a coffee. I don't make a scene. I'm very quiet. I just do my shit. And it's because it's like, and then people are like, oh, Owen's a narcissist. Like, you're watching comedy. So you don't believe? So you don't believe what you're saying? No. AIDS is bullshit. It's just this is an entertaining way. I'm a bard. This is the entertaining way of spreading information by someone's face that isn't a fucking algorithm. So anyway, yeah, the equation is when you have exotic animal from place that no one goes to that kills a lot of people, what you're actually looking at, this is how a Bard King would talk. Yeah, but when the Bard King isn't talking, he's not just always like this. I'm not like, hello, Amy. Boys, did you know? I don't bring conspiracy to my kids or anything like that. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So you can bet your ass that the Black Death is bullshit because it follows the same pattern. That pattern is a spiritual pattern. People don't want to blame themselves or their behavior for their disease. So they seek a remedy from a liar. So the gays felt like, E. Michael Jones broke this down wonderfully. So the gays felt that what they were doing was wrong because it was. They were living very, very dangerous. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them developed their gay vibes because of molestations and abuse. And I get it. You know, a lot of them were failed as children. I get it. It's not, but it doesn't help them to treat them like victims. Anyway, so they're living these very self-abusive lives. Self-abuse, the pedestal and the pit go back and forth. The Jew and the Catholic. You need me to go to heaven. I'm in the shadows and everyone hates me. Right? The Catholic, only through the rock of Peter do you get to see God. Really? I call bullshit. And then the other direction, everybody just wants to hurt me. Bullshit. So it's the same thing with behavior. So you have the gay behaviors on a big pendulum swing. Because in the 80s, 70s, 60s, it was like self-hating, secretive, destructive, drug-oriented, promiscuous, no family, alone. 3-4 days they'd be up on methamphetamines, having random sex with anybody they could find to fill the hole inside them. So naturally they become very unhealthy. So they're like, it isn't because of our behavior. It's AIDS. It's HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. You've never proven that. They've never isolated the HIV virus. They've never shown that autoimmune deficiency is your immune system shuts down by taking amyl nitrates and fucking strangers all night long. So then they start taking AZT, which actually kills them. And tons died. Some really good people died. Gays are never good, baby. An 80s gay, in my opinion, was more moral on average than the average man in 2021. So if you look at COVID-19, it's the same cycle. It's like people are fearful, fat, bad diet, bad thoughts, bad lifestyle, perverted, all this. So then they start feeling sick. And don't get me wrong, there's something that is making people sick out there, whether it's radiation, I don't know, something. There was an odd thing, but it wasn't the numbers that they say. So there's people that feel bad. They feel ashamed of their life. There's a lot of women that regret not having children. They regret taking on debt. They regret working in offices as slaves. They regret having abortions. They regret not getting a husband. And so they're in a state of anxiety and depression all the time. And so then out pops the same magical doctor that had AZT named Dr. Fauci. And he said, it's not your fault. And AIDS, where did AIDS come from? A monkey in Africa. Way over there. An animal mixed with a human. There's a lot of truth to this, by the way, because there is an animal nature to what this is. And it's in a faraway exotic land, and now it's spreading. And it's not your behavior. It was the monkey. Now it's the bat in China. And in 10 years, most people will forget all about the bat. They already are forgetting about the bat. It's such a dumb story. Just like the monkey in Africa. It's like comedians have always made fun of AIDS and the monkey in Africa thing because it's so stupid. Now go back in time. The Black Death. What was that caused by? Fleas from China by way of rats on a ship. If you take 5 minutes of your busy masturbating day and think about how that would be possible. Travel, I just discussed it, but I'm going to do it again. Travel back then took months and months. If you had rats on a ship that had fleas, How did they not kill the people? Oh, well, it wasn't fast acting. No, it was. Allegedly, if you got bit by one of these fleas with bubonic plague, you died within a day. That's why cities were so destroyed, because of the rats. There was no rats in the... Okay, I propose another thing. It was city living killed 80% of Europe. It was the biggest explosion of wealth amongst the deplorable class, the essentials, the essential workers, the bigot, racist, homophobes, right? Okay, us. Follow it. Okay, who got wiped out by AIDS? Urban sodomites. Why? Because they were blaming it on other people, so they accepted the snake. Modern medicine is a staff with 2 fucking snakes on it. Oh, how dare you, hermetic principles. I think like a child. If it slithers, it's a fucking snake. So Dr. Fauci gave people AZT. AZT, if you do research on it, is one of the most poisonous compounds known to man. They couldn't give it to cancer patients because it killed them too fast. It destroys your immune system. This is a fact. This is not conspiracy theory. Dr. Fauci brought AZT to gays. Why would the gays take it? They were riddled with shame, guilt, and a breaking immune system. Why? Because of their lifestyle. Who is getting COVID-19 right now? Scared, weak, fat slobs. How dare you? My uncle. Was he a scared, weak, fat slob? Yeah, obviously. It's like, so you have a group of people that live in urban environments. They're filled with toxins. They're filled with evil thoughts, a lot of envy. They eat bad food. They smell bad air. They fucking live, so they're getting sick. But it can't be their lifestyle. Same with the Irish potato famine. There's no potato blights. And how dare you? There isn't. It's bullshit. So it's like so that's why the grab wars blamed the Germans. They called them germs. It's Deutschland. The word germ isn't even in the fucking word. The germs got us. The Germans. Okay. It's Deutschland. How do you get German from Deutschland? How dare you? Was that right around the same time they were still pushing that germ theory? It's like, it's not us, it's not our... Dude, if you go back to Pharaoh, those motherfuckers kept them in Egypt with sodomy and lollipops. Slavery never had chains. I think it's from Latin. Let's take a look. Either way, it's ridiculous. All right. Origin of the word German. Let's take a look, shall we? A look. Middle English from Old French germain, from Latin germanus, of the same parents, or genuine. Oh, so it's a compliment. They were called Germanic because they were such good guys. I don't know. I still think it sounds a lot like germ. German belongs to the West Germanic group of the Indo-European language family, along with the English. I don't care anymore. I'm already bored. All right, let's continue. They told the Irish farmers there was a disease in order for them to destroy their livestock and crops, put up food prices. Yeah, exactly. And they got them in their workhouses, too. It's the same thing over and over again. That's why Jesus said, don't be afraid 365 times. Like, now people are going to wear masks and isolate based on vaccine shedding. Can anyone see the pattern yet? Do you see how I see the pattern while it's happening? And that's why people a year later are always like, holy shit, Big Bear, you're really knocking it out of the park. How did you see that? It's like, because it's the same pattern over and over again. It's the same pattern over and over again. You know? Okay, maybe Germanic was the first one, but where's the word germ come from? Let's take a look. Because germ doesn't mean, I think I got it backwards. Origin of the word germ. This could be some gravy. Germ is a deceptively simple word that came from Latin German, meaning a sprout, bud, or offshoot. I'm going to have to do some research on this. In all its meanings, the term germ retains the idea of developing into something more mature. A germ. So, but why is everyone so scared of germs? It's like a fear of growth. I think I just opened up a real can of gravy on this one. You could do a whole research thing on the word germ. Germs aren't bad things. Oh, I know, Moonbeam Bear. I'm just saying, like, people are scared of germs. Kill the germs. Wash the germs. Scrub the germs. You don't want germs in your mouth. You don't want germs. Oh, the germs. So if the word Germania or the Latin for good, genuine people, if that really is where it comes from, then why is the word germ so negative? And why do we call them Germans when they don't call themselves Germans? A real can of germs. I'm not going to have the answer to that while I'm live streaming right now, by the way. But there's a lot to that. If you want to do epidemiology on a word, German and germ, and like how that worked, and because you have to understand, our culture went to war with the quote-unquote germs in World War I and World War II. The two biggest wars in the history of the world were fought against people that were at the time being called German. Germanicus was supposedly named for conquering Germans. I don't know. It's like Christian was a derogatory word for holy people. You called them Christian if you fed them to lions. Sauerkrauts, nice. Germ, negative, germinate, positive. Germinate is the verb, like to germinate, germinating, germinated. Germ is the thing that germinates. But wouldn't that be called a seed? So I guess it's like the invisible. It's all very metaphysical. It's like a virus is a thought. It's a yawn. It's an empathetic response to something you see. Fear is the virus. That's why the Grabler glass spreads it so much, because it's like monkey see, monkey do. Christian, faithful to Messiah. No, I've actually looked into that a lot. Christian was a derogatory word for people faithful to the Messiah. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can call yourself that. It's fine. I'm just saying that's where it came from. Christians, it's almost like Mohammedans. It's a derogatory word. Someone on the path being called a Christian was originally like a way to demean them, like that they were following, a guy. I trigger when someone says germ. How dare you? I'm German. All right. What do I got here? The little all right, here we go. I still wondered if God had brought me directly to them. They kept complaining about how Iceland had no clipped weens. After a few drinks, they divulged that their plans to dock in Iceland for weeks had been foiled, and they would be forced to make an early berth to their slip at Cockburn Tower, Scotland. Oh, Jesus. Repulsed, I brought up the YouTube channel. The little sneaks had given up on tea and moved to coffee. They even set up another channel called Hot and Black with Gary and Terry. Oh, that's a great idea. Kyneton, make a Hot and Black. Hot and Black with Gary and Terry. I was disgusted by the whole encounter, and we parted ways. This was not of the Lord. On a more serious note, thanks for the Trinity talks. I learned a ton, and what you said backed up my initial reaction to hearing that discussion as a kid. Since then, I've solidified my resolve, and the best number being 3, and this is why I started 3 Bear Churches. You better be joking. It is just one building, and I'm the only member, but it is 3 churches. You get it? I get it. We are called Trinitarians. Nice. I performed my first wedding there last week when I married myself to me. Now we are looking forward to having 3 children if myself can get pregnant from I because me is sterile. Me, myself, and I, the real trinity of narcissism. Wow, that's amazing. Me, myself, and I, 3 persons, 1 entity. Hilarious. What could possibly go wrong? Not real at all in parentheses. Thank you for telling me that. People have started churches in the Bear name. It's insane. Don't do that. Oh, how dare you? Now I'm going to do it because I'm a Gamma. Okay, no one's going to go. For real now, I'm at Ursa Road in New England and all is well. The gardens are planted, business is booming, and my heart is full of gratitude. Thank you for your wonderful example, openness, and most of all, the laughs. Blessings from afar to you and yours, St. George Bear. What a wonderful letter. God, any more super chats? I'm going to play a Cat Stevens song. Moon Shadow. I think Cat Stevens ladled a lot of gravy. Vox mentioned a potentially 7-fold God would kind of make. I'm not a number. I don't get into the numbers of God. I'm out. Well, it would make sense if you compare it to the colors of the rainbow. The Sodomite flag has 6 colors. God's flag has 7. It's also inverted. The sodomite's rainbow is upside down, obviously. And so the 7 colors of the rainbow could be 7 aspects of the one God. I don't know. Now don't start that again, says Elric. You're gay, Elric. Everyone knows you're a gay guy. Did I read this one? I like misleading for a new media name, Miss Lydia. BB, could you read Burn Bear's letter if you still have it? I think it got overlooked last week. Maybe I'll look for it. Not right now. All right, I'm going to play some Moonshadow. All right. Because the Moonshadow proves that the moon isn't that far away. It's 70 miles wide when there's an eclipse. It's Penumbra. Go somewhere else. I don't care. It's bullshit. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow. Moon shadow. I think these are wrong chords. Moon shadow. That's not it. Let me figure this out on my own. I don't think these are the right chords. I'll just figure this out. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my land. Oh, if I ever lose my hands, oh, if I won't have to work no more. Such a good way to look at life. And if I ever lose my eyes, if my colors all run dry, oh, if I ever lose my eyes, oh, if I won't have to cry no more. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, I won't moan and I won't beg. Oh, if I ever lose my legs, oh, if I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south. Oh, if I ever lose my mouth, oh, if I won't have to talk no more. Did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. Did it take long to find me? When you're coming home tonight. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. What a great song. What a great song. It's so true. It's the breaking of attachment to the physical world, the 666 carbon realm. Because people are so scared of losing everything. Myself included, I get that way. Not judging. But like, you won't have to, it's like, did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. I mean, it's so logo. You can see why he became a Muslim in Hollywood and left and never, he's just like, I'm out. Dude converted to Islam? Yeah. Obviously, I mean, you can tell by his songs. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my plow, lose my land. And now it goes, just think of this. This is about accepting God's plan. Don't stand beneath me when I'm erect, says Chumbawamba. Chumbawamba, you're on thin ice again. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my land. Like, so many people are so scared of that, myself included. I'm not, but I mean, imagine the divinity of being able to say, oh, if I ever lose my hands, oh, I won't have to work no more. And if I ever lose my eyes, all my colors all run dry. Yes, if I ever lose my eyes, oh, I won't have to cry no more. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. A leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, I won't moan and I won't beg. Oh, if I ever lose my legs, oh, if I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south. Oh, if I ever lose my mouth, oh, if I won't have to talk no more. Did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. Did it take long to find me? And are you gonna stay the night? Well, I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my Twitter, all my tweets all get erased. And if I ever lose my Twitter, oh, I won't have to tweet no more. And if I ever get kicked out of Hollywood, all my gigs all go dry. Oh, oh, if I ever get kicked out of Hollywood, oh, I won't have to be there anymore. It's so true. It's like, if I ever lose my job, I won't have to lie no more. But what's going to happen to you is this, like, did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. It's so good. That's such like a good, inspiring way to look at the world. And he's also the dude who sang Father and Son. I'll play that and then I'll get out of here. Father and Son. I mean, he understood the boomer before anybody. God, Cat Stevens is the fucking man. Did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. All right. It's not time to make a change. Just relax. Take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to go. No. Find a girl. Settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me. I am old, but I'm happy. By the way, this isn't the way it always was. This is like the boomer. Like, get married if you wanted to, but there's no guidance from the father in this song. But the beauty of good art is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter his intention. if you're saying what you believe to be true, it holds up over time, just in many different layers. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. But take your time, think a lot. Why think of everything you got? By the way, that's all like, you know, don't seize the day, get real mental, be materialistic. It's really bad advice. For you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. And then this is the youth crying out like, you didn't lead me. How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away again to his Buick. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. That's why they left their farms. And that's why a lot of them are going to die in the cities, just like every other time they trusted the snake oil. It's not time to make a change. Just sit down, take it slowly. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. All the times that I've cried, keeping all the things I knew inside. It's hard, but it's harder to ignore it. If they were right, I'd agree, but it's simply no, not me. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. We went to the moon, drove a car. Neil Armstrong took this country far. I bought this house for 20 grand. It's now worth 650,000. All the jobs are in China because I wanted more cheap stuff. And don't forget that we went to the moon with grit. I know we never went to the moon. And we aren't going back anytime soon. It's hard, and it's harder as they slobber on themselves. If they were right, I'd agree. But Van Allen belt, you can't get that past me. Now there's a way, and I know onward to Betaria. I know I have to grow my food. It's not time to grow your food. Dennis Prager can be a little rude sometimes, but he knows that the Jew will save everyone. From the moment I could talk, I was telling people about the Grabblers. Now I'm just on 4chan and I am on Adderall. BB, Father and Son is on the album T for the Tiller Man. No way. T for the Tiller Man. Cat Stevens. You've gone too far now, Big Bear. How dare you not think we went to the moon? How dare you not think Jews are going to save America? How dare you not say Father, Son, and Holy Ghost? I'm the special boy God loves the most. Ugh. All right, that's it for me. Cod, any super chats? Follow us at unauthorized.tv, bitshoot.com/Owen Benjamin, Gab, Odyssey, Rumble, Beartaria Times app, wherever you get your app stores, Unbearables Media, where you can watch Mountain Bear's brand new Corky Pope, all cut up. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all very, very much. I really enjoyed today's stream. It was very long, I now see. I didn't realize that. I was just in the zone. Thank you for all the letters. Thank you for all your support. It means a lot to me. Be fruitful, multiply, don't be fruity and blow a guy. And don't take any poison from snake oil salesmen because you're shirking your responsibilities.